Hello. Welcome. How's everyone doing on this eventful Saturday? What do you mean the live stream cover's awful? It's so good. Is it not the greatest YouTube thumbnail you've ever seen? Be honest. Yeah, it is a bit of an abomination, I can't lie. I don't know what to do for stream thumbnails. Like, I don't have any ideas, so I just kind of thought, you know what? This would be a terrible idea, I'll do it. Kakubashi anime about to be so peak? Probably. Hopefully. Oh, is my chat working? Hello? There we go. So welcome, everyone. I hope the stream's working. There we go. This is not Chainsaw Man, no. Hello, what's happening? Nothing yet. Barely done anything. So yeah, as I said on Monday after the stream, at the end of the stream, I'd stream today. So I'm doing it. Why not? It's my birthday today. Can you say happy birthday? How do you pronounce your name? Is it Sockly Jockley? Name pronounced Sockly. Okay, there you go, thank you. Sockly Jockley, happy birthday. Hope you have a great day. How's that? Hello, everyone. Yeah, so I'm just gonna continue. I've got stuff to cut out. I've been doing a lot of MMV stuff. I did a lot of animating today, so I'm gonna chill out and yeah, cut out this panel. Are you from the UK by chance? Yeah, I am from the UK by chance. I didn't pick it, but yes, I am from the UK. It's always the Whack Donalds, isn't it? They always just make it a W. The Wombo. Alright, first thing I need to actually, I'm going to cut out the arm. So I just need to split this into a bajillion layers. That's always where you got to start after making a backup. You watch MHA More episode? I did, yes. It was great. That's why the thumbnail is my cursed edit. Which I think looks good, but someone immediately told me it looks awful. So... yeah, that's fair. I get it. I'm gonna cut out the ribbon first. Or the bow. Whatever it's called. This manga is love bullets, by the way. Love your stuff. I appreciate it. Thanks so much. Whoops. We've got a lot of stuff last few days. Also, did you guys see the, whatchamacallit? JJK Modulo trailer thing, which a lot of people think is for an anime, but it's not. It's just a manga promo. Are you proud of your Gojo vs Sakuna animation, and how much did you earn from it? I don't know exactly how much I earned because it's not a monetized video, so I don't have like a definitive number, but it's not as much as you're probably thinking. Which is just kind of the nature of my uploads. It gave me a decent boost on Patreon, though, for a bit. Which has largely fizzled out, but we take those. There's just multiple bows here, so I should probably name it. Oh, whoops. C-bow. C-bow. 10 to 12k, dude, I wish. Not even close. I'm glad you're optimistic. Hello, Hasm. Welcome. Did they release a trailer for JJK Modulo? I did, yes. Yeah, that JJK Modulo trailer is insane. My first reaction was, holy shit, this looks incredible. It's insane. My second reaction was, holy shit, this looks incredible. And then my third reaction was, I wonder how long it's going to take before people start spreading the information that this is an anime announcement. Because it's not, just in case you didn't know. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. 20. It's a bit higher than £20. I will say that, again, I got a Patreon boost on that one, so that it's hard to add up the exact amount I got from that. But I also did get some donations on the video itself as well. Whoops. What I just did. There we go. But I think reality is, I think someone who reposted it probably got more money off than I did off of it. Dude, I'm tired today. Apologies in advance if my stream's stuttering, because I don't know how good my internet is today. And if I'm stuttering, I also apologize, because I'm tired. But I did say I'd stream today, so. Do you have a Discord server? I have a Patreon Discord server, but not a public one. Whoops, that is not the right color. Chat, rate the thumbnail on a scale of 1 to 10. And if you don't say 10, I will be offended. That is not good. There we go. $111? There we go. Thank you, chat. Totally genuine answers. I need to fix the brush tool, actually. Oh, perfect. I haven't seen your streams in a while. Last time you were playing Dark Souls. Yes, I did. I played Dark Souls 1, 2, 3. And they were great. But they were also really stressful streams. I haven't done any gaming streams on YouTube, though. So maybe I'll do that at some point in the future. I don't know what I'd play, though, to be honest with you. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of, like, equations in the chat. Guys, I asked for a simple number. I was basically just asking you to type the number 10, and now I'm getting, like, 87 out of 86. I do have a Twitch. It's in the description. Although the VODs aren't there because Twitch doesn't let you keep them anymore. But there are highlights. There we go. Maybe need to name that. Arm left. It's just arm. Okay. Am I tweaking? Do I see it glow up? What am I, Photoshop? I lost a bit of weight, if that's what you're asking. Also, hello, Madge. How you doing? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Excited to see the Gojo versus Sukuna thing. How do you feel about people using your edit animations for edits? As long as I'm credited properly, I don't really mind. Like, at this point, I'm kind of jaded. It's happened so often, it's like, whatever. Like, it's flattering, but it's also exhausting to, like, see it so often. I don't know. It's hard to vocalize my thoughts on it. It's just kind of one of those things. There we go. You got 2% on your phone. Do you ever charge it? Have you seen the Witch Hat Atelier anime? I have, yes. Witch Hat Atelier. If you're not watching it this season, you are missing out. It is incredible. Especially episode 5. I got chills. When he cast that big spell, the clouds parted. Holy shit. And what am I doing? Well, let's hope Sockly Jockly can find a charger. Still can't get over how much I love the Chujin X MMV. I'm glad you like it. That one was a lot of fun to work on. I'm just gonna make the whole thing white, who cares? Boop. There we go. So I don't know why I'm making those noises. There's so many things I need to cut out. So the plan for this panel is they're going to be kind of static, like these two at the front are just going to be kind of looking into the abyss. She's going to be chewing and kind of looking back and forth. And then she's going to be yapping and waving a drink around. That's the play. But it's a lot of stuff I need to cut out. They took your mouth. Sorry to hear that, friend. Do you enjoy the process of cutting the images? It depends. Some, it's kind of therapeutic, and I can also do a lot of background tasks while cutting out panels, because it's like low focus, you know? Like I can easily watch stuff on the side. But if I don't have anything to watch, then it's extremely dull. Like sometimes I'll spend more time trying to find something to watch on the side than I'll actually spend cutting out the panels. It's rough sometimes. Where do I start? This is with these kind of panels. I'm just like looking at it like, I think I'll just start. Let me cut out all the things and I'm gonna color red. That'll be a good start, I reckon. How much it will it? What's your favorite anime, Ninjaristic? That's a good question. What is my favorite? My general favorites, because I can't nail it down to just one. Okay, never mind. My anime list is not working. Mob Psycho Season 2. I'll say that. Is this hair? Is there a gap in this? A gap in there? I guess podcasts are really good for cutting the images. They should be. I don't watch any though. Anyone have any good podcast recommendations that aren't like the, you know, terrible ones? I think I'll just start by cutting out the people in the front. Then I can work from there. So I still need to find the balance of streaming, of reading chat and also cutting stuff out. This is a harsh reminder you're a Brit. Man, that's kind of harsh. But honestly, fair. You should listen to the Sally Valley podcast. What are they about? Trash Taste? Oh yeah, there's Trash Taste. I haven't watched Trash Taste in a very long time. But that's probably a good shout. I watched Trash Taste when it was initially starting, but then I just kind of stopped. Not because I like disliked it, I just, you know, listened to other stuff. Never got back around to it. I thought of cosplaying as Chozo for Halloween, but I'm too broke to buy everything. Just do one of those like really budget cosplays. I've never cosplayed, so I don't know the struggle, to be honest with you. Is it bad to say that I thought nothing? Sorry, let me try again. Is it bad to say that I thought looked nothing like this? Yes? Whatever you're trying to say, maybe. That's my answer. What manga is this? This is a Love Bullet. It has one volume in English and 2 in Japanese currently. I was gonna say exactly. There's one word missing from that sentence that could just unlock all of the answers. What am I looking at? Sometimes it's hard to know exactly where to cut. There we go. Good enough. There we go. So she's at the front. Love Bullet, didn't this get cancelled? It did not get cancelled, no. It was close to getting axed, but it did not in the end. Is it bad to say that I thought you looked nothing like this? What did you think I looked like then? Does the thumbnail imply anything between you and Photoshop? You can read between the lines, buddy. You can think what you want. No, sure, we got face reveal before GTA 6. How many of you in chat think GTA 6 is actually going to release this year? Show of hands. Because I do not think it's releasing this year. I think it's going to be another year of, hey guys, this game's really difficult. So, it's going to come out next year, for sure. 2049. I could see it. Did you read the last Black Clover chapters? I did, yes. I don't know what to think. Also, I don't think I cut out the body correctly. Yeah, that's a... Whoops. I see what I get what I'm looking at now. See, sometimes you gotta step back to really understand what you're looking at. This is not her arm. This is the other girl's arm. This is where it gets cut off. Interesting. See, this is why I often kind of zoom out while I'm cutting stuff out, so I can see the bigger picture, literally speaking. But it's hard to keep track of what you're looking at sometimes. There we go. John animation is working right now. So I'm gonna take a second to read chat in a second. I just need to get this one part cut out so I can breathe. There's a precious balance, as I was saying, between reading chat and cutting stuff out, and I have not found that balance ever. But I will try it regardless. Okay, there we go. Boom. Okay. Does that work? Yes. Okay. And then this can just get cut out like this. Maybe? It doesn't matter too much. The table's blocking it. Alright. It's 2:42 AM. You should probably sleep. What version of Photoshop and After Effects do you use? I don't know. 2025, I think. Maybe. It's the one that they added the stupid AI bullshit, which I don't use, but it's one of the newer ones, for sure. Okay, there we go. Cut out the bow. I'll color the bow first, and then I'll cut it out. Yeah, no, sorry, what was I saying? Black Clover. Yeah, I read the final chapters. I didn't think it was like the worst ending in the world. I know there's a lot of like exaggerated opinions when it comes to Weekly Shonen Jump manga. I thought it was okay. I think the problem is, I think the whole final arc really suffered from the Jump Giga release schedule. Because for me, I kind of was hoping that Black Clover would end alongside, you know, like MHA and JJK. Because, like, story content-wise, if it didn't get moved to the other magazine, it probably would have ended alongside those two. But it's like, what, like a chapter every... What was it, 6 months? It felt like every 6 months. I think it was less, but it was painful. So yeah, I need to reread that entire stretch of chapters, I think, to kind of, you know, have a proper opinion on it. Maybe you had mixed opinions on Chainsaw Man Part 2. What did you think about the ending? I still don't know. I still not really sure how to feel about it. I think my current opinion is that I don't hate the ending in isolation, but it's one of those where I feel like the lead up to it wasn't really satisfying. And it still feels like we just kind of leapfrogged over like 10, 15 chapters to get there. So I'm not sure. Oops, one color. There we go. Who is the most trauma, Yuji, Subaru, Natsuki, or Denji? Probably Subaru. Just from like some of the brutal deaths he's had, you know? And the thing is, right, like what's so brutal about Subaru's situation, he's not only dying in brutal ways, he also can't tell anyone about it. Like, imagine how insane you'd go if you were going through all of that just to, like, make sure someone doesn't die, and you can't even, like, take any credit for it. I mean, that's why he broke down when he, met that one witch, and she was like, you can tell me. I know. So I'd say Subaru for sure. And let me reach out a bit. Will you make tutorials anytime soon? I'd like to. I'm going to try to. They're a little bit tricky to make, though. I can't lie. What's your favorite Love Bullet character? I think it's too early to say. I don't feel that we have enough about the characters to pick a favorite, but I'll say Chio. Because she's throwing hands, and she's been fun to animate as well. So I feel like I have a bad habit of speaking faster than I can think. So sometimes I just like trip over my sentence. I'm like, but yeah, Chio, I think is my favorite character currently. I'm very curious what her backstory is. Season 4 of ReZero has been peak so far. It has. I mean, episode 3 was like the big one so far for me. I mean, I've heard really good things about this arc, so I'm very excited to see where it goes. Have I done this properly? I have. Nice. Alright, now I'll cut this out and I'll paint it red. There we go. Again, sorry in advance if I'm a little delayed in answering any chat messages, because I am trying to make genuine progress. There we go. MHA episode was fantastic. It was. I love how they did that final scene, man. The lighting was perfect. And the soundtrack choice as well. I think it was from the movie, the soundtrack they used for that scene. But it works so well. Have you read the latest Lover Bullet chapter? Will Aina's backstory be part of the MMV? I'll allude to it, but I won't... I don't know for sure what panels I'm going to use for like the final section of the MMV. I've mapped out most of it. But I'll definitely allude to it to some extent. As best I can. There we go. I should wait Ebo. Nice. Did you ever read JoJo's? And if yes, did you read part 9? And what did you think about it? I have not read JoJo yet. I've not read JoJo, but I've watched part 1 to 6. Yes, part 1 to 6. It's great, yeah. I'll be the first to admit, I don't think JoJo is fully my thing. Because it's one of those shows where I'm like, I love everything about this, but then when I sit down to watch the episodes, I do find myself not as entertained as I feel like I should be. Like, I adore the openings. I adore the character designs. I adore the soundtrack. But when I'm like watching the episodes, I'm like, I don't know. Not as invested as I feel like I should be. But it also just might be a case of I need to like watch it at a different point in my life. You know, because sometimes you watch something, it's like, this is shit, or it's like, I'm not feeling anything, and then you randomly try it again, 2 years later, and it just clicks. So maybe something like that. It would be cool to see Sai, is it Sai or Sai? Even if briefly, I'm planning to, for sure. If she is in it, though, it will be like a brief glimpse. Okay, let's cut this out. EI. Nice. Hell yeah. And also this. A whittled hair thing. I should do the outline quickly. Three. Boom, 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 boom. Nice. Instead of bow, I should have just called it like E-red, maybe. In fact, I merged those together. There we go. Perfect. Favorite character from JJK so far that has been animated? Yuta. I've always thought Yuta was cool. And I also like characters with like copy abilities. I think he's a cool design, cool abilities. I don't know. Just curious, but what are you doing here by selecting the black lines? So the reason I'm selecting around these is so I can paint them red. And I don't have to be like precise because I've got the multiply brush on, so it won't affect the color black. So you can like, it's a really easy way to quickly color stuff. But the reason I'm cutting stuff out first is because I want the red to stick out, so I'm going to apply effects or make the layer underneath darker, so then the red will appear brighter. Are you ever bothered by how many edits use your animations? Not. Sometimes, depends. It's all depends on the specific situation, I think. But I'm becoming kind of more and more jaded about it. So, like, I don't really have the energy to care anymore. It happens so frequently. Have you read Ichi the Witch? I highly recommend it. I have not read it yet, no. I read the first chapter when it released, and then I didn't continue. So I need to binge it sometime soon. When did Ichi the Witch start, by the way? Did it release alongside Kagurabachi? I can't remember. Or did it release later? For some reason in my head, they released at the exact same time, but I don't actually know if that's true. Where's Blender again? Nice. Nice. Ichi was later? Okay, nice, thanks. Yeah, a part of me thought it was. Because I've never checked the chapter numbers, so I don't know how much further ahead it is. Okay, let me cut out... I need to do so much. I'll do some of the hair, I guess. Sometimes with these panels, you just gotta think less and just continue cutting things out. So you can make sense of it later. Are you Japanese? What do you think? Background music name? I'm listening to Relaxing Pokemon Music Compilation Volume 3. This specific song is called Crystal Cave from Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Explorers of Time and Explorers of Darkness. There you go. Did you get some information from watching the modular PV that came out? I guess so. I mean, it's definitely, like, I think for, whatchamacallit, Dabra versus Maharaga, there's definitely stuff to take from. I mean, it looks ridiculous. Like, it looks, like, stylistically, it looks a lot like Sukuna versus Maharaga. I think more than anything else, I think more than, like, specific visuals, I think what I get inspired by when I watch JJK's anime is just, like, how free you can be with the fight scenes, you know? Because, like, sometimes you're animating a manga and it's like, dude, is it too much if I make him, like, jump through that building? Like, am I doing too much? And then the anime just makes the characters do the most wild bullshit you've ever seen, and people love it. Like, did you see how Yuta was moving in that, against that cockroach? Bro was, like, running up a building at, like, Mach 7. So it's like, yeah, I can do anything. That's why in the Gojo versus Sukuna MMV, I made him throw that building. Because in the manga, he just threw like a cut-off bridge, you know? So I was like, dude, is it too weird if I make Gojo throw a building at the guy? But then I watched Season 2 and I was like, ah, I'm good. I could make Gojo throw the entire city map, and it would probably still make sense. Did I name this one? Yeah, I'll do this. Boom. What happens with Sonic ID WMV? I'm still working on it. It's just, it took the back seat because I got stuck on a scene and I don't want to rush it. Also, I can color the bows now. Wham. Bam. There we go. Perfect. Will you ever learn full-on animation? Maybe. I'm not sure. Yes. Let me... Give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds. I do have... I'm still here. I just want to show my folders, because they're messy. Do I have any Sonic stuff on this? I think I have... Nah, I can't show you anything. See, I would show you a preview, but it's not on this PC. Damn shame. Oh well. Oh, we're back. Yeah, so I am working on a Sonic IDW comic MV. But I don't have anything to show on this PC, unfortunately. Who is your favourite manga artist in terms of art only? In terms of art only. I don't know. I need to think about it. Like, Horikoshi's for sure up there. From this limited amount I've seen, the Witch Hat Atelier mangaka has some gorgeous art and paneling. Who else? I felt there's like some really obvious ones I just can't think of off the top of my head. So let me cut out the general shape. I've done the bow, the ponytail. Here we go. Hello. Ishida is for sure up there. 100%. I haven't even read Tokyo Ghoul, by the way. But I've read Chujin X and I've seen a lot of their just art in general, and they have some gorgeous stuff. That vague shape is fine, I think. There we go. Nice. I have read the new Rent-A-Girlfriend chapters. I don't even want to talk about it. If I start talking about Rent-A-Girlfriend on this stream, it'll just turn into like a venting stream. I'll just be venting about it. I think I said in the previous stream, when I start a manga, I don't drop it. Unless it's like really early on. And in Rent-A-Girlfriend's case, I didn't drop it early on, so I'm stuck with it. Sunk cost fallacy demands that I continue reading until the bitter end. Even if it is just the worst thing I think I've ever read in my entire life, relative to its popularity. Nice. And let me reach out a little bit. What did you think of the MHA More ep? I think it was great. I think we did a great job with it. I think it's about as kind of good as I was hoping it would be. I do think it's kind of funny. It was kind of funny in the chapter as well, but I think it's funnier in the episode. The idea that these guys, like, what, rob a bank or something? Or just, it's like petty theft, and they're driving away in a car, and then the fucking Avengers turn up. Again, where should I go next? I'll cut you out. I think this is part of a wing. I'm going to assume it is. I need to cut out the table as well. Yeah, exactly. Like, and the thing is, like, they weren't even on duty. They were all, like, drinking. I mean, not alcohol, but still. What am I looking at? Is that a wing? I don't know. I think that's a wing. I'm gonna hope that's a wing, and if it's not a wing, I'll redraw it into a wing. There we go. What's the average time you do spend to make an MMV? It ranges anywhere from like 2 to 12 weeks, generally speaking. Like the Culling Game one I was on for 5 months. The Pokemon Festival of Champions I was on for a couple of weeks. So it varies. This one I've been on for like a couple of months, I think. I think when this is done, it'll be around 3 months. Like this one's is like 2 minutes in total. It's gonna be 2 minutes. So it's one of the more difficult ones to make. And time takes time. So I can't conjure up the right words at the moment. I think my brain might be spent. I spent like half of today in After Effects animating, and it is exhausting. Like I close After Effects and just sigh. Like I'm at that part in the After Effects project where saving takes 2 seconds every single time. Which again, doesn't sound like a lot, but I promise you that adds up. There we go. Boom. Table. It depends. I think the reason my recent one's been taking longer is because I'm trying to animate every single panel. But you don't need to make a high quality MMV necessarily. There's more to it than just animation quality after all. But I hate myself, so I just choose to animate everything anyway. There we go. Nice. Goku versus Momo. Is that the like guy with the horns? I haven't actually read Dragon Ball, so I don't know. I loved your Dandadan Step Up Love one. I love that you loved it, Zami. Thanks so much. That was fun to work on. I will say, so the Dandadan MMV, the reason I made that one, so I made that one on this PC, which I don't typically make anything on. I also made that with 0 plugin effects as well. And the reason I made that MMV is because my laptop broke down. And I sent it off for repairs, and it was being repaired for like weeks. I couldn't even repair it, which is the funniest part. I had to get a new one. And so I was like, but I want to make something. So I made the Dandadan one. And that was fun to work on. I'm pretty sure I worked on some of it during my first stream, actually. Like, I think in my very first YouTube stream, I was working on that Dandadan video. For anyone wondering, the reason I don't care about her arm being cut off is because it will not be shown. It will be blocked by a table. Whoops. Like so. It is a good song. I think, like, not only, like, the song, but I think the ending itself, like, the video, is, like, one of the best endings of all time, to be honest. But I think it's overshadowed because I think the other best ending of all time is from the same show, in Season 1. It's like Sugar Step something. Nice. Oh, step by step. Layer by layer. I think she's done. I don't think I need to even do anything else. Do that. Okay. Nice. Have you read or watched Gachi Yakuza? I have read a handful of chapters and I've watched most of the anime so far, but I need to catch up. putting so much effort into that arm. Yeah, it's a bad habit, to be honest. Even into stuff that's not going to be shown, I still end up like trying to redraw the specific details. It's a big time waster. But it's a bad habit, you know. It's difficult to just not do it once you start. What is this song? This is very like... the stream got very emotional all of a sudden. Whoops. Whoops. There we go. I like how like every so often someone comes into the stream and they're like, the most robbed man on the internet. A person whose work is stolen by many people. I go by many names apparently. Many titles. Have you watched Ninjago? I have not. That's the... Is Ninjago... Is that a Lego thing? Or is it also a Lego thing? I don't know. I remember it being Lego. But I don't actually know. I know it's about ninjas. And there's like a green ninja. I don't know the specifics. I don't think Mappa are going to steal anything from me. And if look, if they do, I'm going to be honest. What am I going to do? They're going to steal my lunch money, I'm just going to let them. Like, Mappa are going to use, like, half a second from something accidentally, and I'm just going to take them to court. Like, alright, Mappa, it's even court. And then they'll threaten me with a job. No, I'm sorry. I take it back. You can have it. I don't need it. Anything but that. What is this? I'm still trying to figure out what this is. Is this her wing? Or... is it like a... I don't know what I'm looking at. Oh, no, it's just part of her thing. Oh, I'm stupid. It's just part of her, like, hoodie. It's like the neck thing. My brain. It's fine. There we go. It took me a second. Sometimes it just is tricky to see what's happening on your panel. How did you start animation? What app and what did you follow tutorial or learn to yourself? So I started making stuff in After Effects and then I've just kind of learned from there. I started off doing trial and error. So I didn't watch tutorials because I didn't have the patience. Like, if a tutorial was beyond 2 minutes, I ain't sitting through that, you know? Because my attention span is cooked. So instead I just learned a bunch of bad habits through trial and error. But I will say, if you want to get into MMV making nowadays, there's so much stuff you can watch to learn. So I do highly recommend it. It's a fun way to show how much you appreciate a manga. And before you know it, you too could be robbed of everything you've ever made. So if I'm randomly making weird faces, it's not because I'm like in pain. Wow. Yeah, no, really great cropping out. What the fuck? Let me try again. One more try. See, this is why you should use the pen tool, people. So you don't have to try to make curves with a polygonal lasso tool, like an idiot. Nice. Perfect. Whew. Have you considered to do more tutorials? I think your only one is the Impact Frames one. Yeah, I've been meaning to. I've got a couple on Patreon, if you want to check those out. I've got but they're kind of outdated as well. I will say the Impact Frames one is completely outdated. I do not recommend doing Impact Frames that way at all. In fact, I highly don't recommend it. Is Free Run Figure still in the back? She's not. But she is here. I just don't have anywhere to put her where she's being shown. Actually, I could. There you go. Just for you. Have you ever thought about switching to another editing software? Not really. I think, especially with how Photoshop and After Effects work together, there's no reason for me to ever stop using it. It's just kind of, you know, too convenient. But for like animation and like rigging specifically, there are other software like Spine 2D and Live 2D. I don't know if they're both called 2D. But you know, there are better software for that kind of thing. But for what I do specifically, I think After Effects is still kind of the best bet, to be honest. I do not currently have a tutorial on color grading, but I can make one. Maybe. Probably. Is the Hikari at the top left the animation you did for When the Devil Rises MMV? It is, yes. It is the exact Hikari. Not just a recreation, it is the exact thing thrown onto a green screen. Speaking of Hikari and the color green, dude, I was sweating buckets during season 3. I was fearing for my life. It's like, there were some people who were genuinely mad at me for making people think that his cursed energy color was green. Like, I just did it because I thought it looked cool. You know, I wasn't trying to predict the anime adaptation. But I'm seeing, you know, there's like people complaining about, oh, it's not green, oh, how dare they? And then people start asking, oh, why are people complaining about it not being the color green? Then they say, well, it's this fucking editor called Ninjuistic Ninja. I'm like, gulp. I did nothing. I'm an innocent man. That is not how, what the? That's not how the boat looks. It's more like this. There we go. Probably. Again, this is going to be hidden behind the table, so I don't really need to do any of this, like, redrawing, but I'm doing it anyway. You get all kinds of comments on live streams. Have you watched any of the Monogatari series? I have not, no. The only Monogatari stuff I've seen is Nanatsuki's MMV from years ago. And random clips on Twitter of toothbrushing and all kinds of stuff. I'll probably watch it one day just because some of the clips I've seen outside the toothbrushing look genuinely interesting. Like the direction and whatnot looks bold. What are you doing? I'm currently redrawing a bit of a panel and cutting a panel out. Weren't you also responsible for making people think Ryu's energy was yellow? Yes. Well, I actually made it orange. And the reason I made it orange is because I just thought orange looked cool. I don't know. Some of the cursed energy colors on that video have like genuine thought behind them. Other ones, I'm just like, I thought it looked kind of sweet. And the Ryu one, I think, was just like, I like how the color orange looks when I try to do lighting. So I just kind of, you know, I was like, yeah. There was genuine thought that went into Hikari's green color, though. Like, the thought process was, right, I was like, alright. So the choices for Hikari's cursed energy color, in my head, it was like, alright, purple's a popular color with the character. My first choice was almost gold, because I thought, when I think of Hikari, I think of gambling. When I think of gambling, I think of casinos. I think of like the colors like red. I think of gold, follow the money. But I already used the color gold for Hikaruma earlier in the video. So I was like, okay, well, I can't use that. And I also already used the color red. So I'm like, okay, I can't use that either. And plus, I don't think the color red matches Hikari anyway. So I was like, okay, what else? And I already had purple for Kashimo's lightning, and I was like, well, I don't want to do purple on purple. So I was like, I know, I'll do green, because when you think of green, you think of luck, like Lucky Clover. Green, wow, and also green contrasts really nicely with purple. Cha-ching. I just hit the jackpot. Yeah, so that was the full thought process on Akari's Curse Energy. I mean, and some people are saying, oh, green because the color of money is green. That's not what I did it for, but sure, that too. Okay, what's actually being shown here? Not much, that's fine. Why do people keep asking me in chat if I'm going to impregnate them? Buddy, the answer's no. You think, like, I made all these MMVs, I can get so many questions, and those are the questions I get. I go to someone else's, like, live stream, and I see questions like, hey, man, what do you think of this episode of this series? Hey, man, what do you think of this? Oh, do you like this manga? Have you ever tried reading this? And I go to my chat, and people talk about impregnating, and I just... It's 10 PM, people. I'm a tired man. I don't have enough brain cells to give you witty answers to your bizarre questions. How much hours do you take to make a single MMV? It varies. Sometimes it's like 12 weeks, sometimes it's 2 weeks. But I don't know the specific hours. I just know the general time frame of weeks. But if I had to say in one word, I'd say too long. You have quite the chat. I have no mod. So, yeah, gotta work on that maybe. Things I don't stream enough to like really think about it. What's this MMV? This is for Love Bullet. Looks like a weird nose here. Who wants to see? I think I showed it in my other live stream. Who wants to see a quick GIF? Where is it? There we go. Yeah, this is from the thing I'm currently working on. This is the same manga. This is the unfinished shot there. Your chat's just goated? True. What do you consider your best work? Probably the Culling Game MMV. And also the recent Pokemon one. I was really happy with how that turned out, to be honest. Hey man, what do you think about this episode of this series? Thank you for asking, actually. I think it was awful. It does flow really well. I'm most proud of that shot, where it's like the close-up of the feet going backwards. I'm really happy with it. It's just so good. And the finished version is even better, because I've got like the moving background, like a floor, like the lighting, the shadows. It's good stuff. It's so weird seeing an MMV of yours while I read the manga before watching the MMV. I think it's more rewarding that way, because you're like, oh, that's that panel. How did you do that for that panel, you know? Where do you get inspiration from? Other MMVs, I guess? Other MMVs. Sometimes my main thought is just I need to do better than what I did last time. Even if I don't always do better than I did last time, that's like enough, you know, motivation, I think. What the... am I looking at? Right, yes, I know. Yes, okay, well, fine. Is that Kana's arm? I lose track. It is, whoops. So why did I redraw this part? Well, you pre-ordered my view? Hell yeah. I'm happy to hear it. This MMV should be out... Well, it should be done within the next couple of weeks. But I don't know when it'll be public on YouTube, because I'm actually putting it into a contest online. And there's an embargo on when I can release it publicly. So, I don't know when that will actually be. But soon. I'm making good progress. Nice. And then that's also... Nice. How do I make it look like someone's chewing? I just do the... Let's cut out the mouth, it'll be easy enough. Since you're a Brit, I gotta ask, which team do you support? It is true that I hail from the UK. And that I am a British man. However, I didn't really grow up in the UK. And so I never really got into football. So I'm a bit of a fraud. And I don't actually have a team I support. My brother does, because he got back into football. He like reconnected with it. I, however, never did. So I'm out of touch in that regard, I'm afraid. I used to support Liverpool because that was the one my dad supported and still supports. So I'll just say Liverpool, but I don't really have a, you know. I forgot two of them have the name that starts with a letter K. Whoops. Okay, Co. I think Car. There we go. This gets real confusing real fast. Thanks you, Digital. I appreciate that. Hey man, I take a lot of inspo from you and Natsuki. It really is fun to learn how you approach things. I'm happy to hear that. The fact I'm even put in the same, you know, sentence as Natsuki is a privilege. Their early work is kind of what inspired me to, you know, want to improve. So to get to the point where people are putting us both together makes me happy. Same with the Linko. Whoops. Okay, I'll put you on your own layer. There we go. Boom, 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 boom. Do you do commissions? Sort of, kind of. They're not like really open right now, but depending on who commissions, I say yes. Do you have any advice for finding quality raws? Well, for this particular video, I've been able to find quite a few because the artists post them on Twitter. So maybe, like, if you're trying to find specific panels, maybe check the artist's Twitter account, because sometimes they like post just some of the pages to like advertise it in tweets, and the quality there is higher than what you'll see in scans. So I think maybe the Yutaka Nakamura one might be pushing it slightly. What am I doing? Alright, bow. I'll make this a bit bigger as well. Yep. That's good enough. I really chose like the most complicated panel to do on stream, by the way. I could have done like a simple one and been like, see guys, look how quick I am. I'm so quick and efficient. But I chose this absolute monster of a panel. So I probably look like I don't know what I'm doing. And that's only half true. I will say that streaming while doing it is a challenge. I'll be the first to admit. Yeah, I think for the mouth, the trick is to just make it move in, like you say, the T part, move it kind of in circles. I have done this exact chewing motion before for something, and there's also plenty of references I can look at, so yeah. I think the important thing is that it's on its own layer. I can figure out the rest quite easily, I think. When would the Yuji versus Sakuna MMV be out? Hopefully after this one, is the current plan. It depends on a few things, though. Like, the plan is to, once this MMV is done, which should be soon, I will then work on the JJK video, and then the Sonic IDW comic video, and then after that, I'm not sure. Either Pokemon or Kagurabachi, one of those two. Is this being blocked by... It is, okay. So I don't need to like complete the shape. Have you thought about animating visual novel sprites if you've played any? I haven't played any visual novels, I don't think. I think the closest thing I've played to a visual novel is like a Persona game, because that feels like half visual novel, half, you know, RPG. So yeah, basically I haven't played any. Are there any? What are the best visual novels? I know there's like a Umi Neko or something. I think I've heard that one's quite popular, or controversial, or both. I'm not sure if it even is a visual novel. I'm not familiar with visual novels. Hello, Monica. Also, if anyone has any ideas for what they want to see in streams, obviously I try to brainstorm in my own time, but truth be told, it is kind of difficult to picture what I could do for streams outside of just cutting panels out. So if anyone does have any ideas that they'd like to see, let me know. As long as the suggestion isn't show yourself animating stuff in After Effects, because I'd like to do that, but I can't. Also, what did I just cut out? I think I did something wrong. Oh, wrong layer. There we go. Maybe I should just play horror games. That's always like the go-to, right? But what even are the good horror games these days? Best visual novel is probably Umi Neko. A good starter one is DDLC. I've seen DDLC. Like, I haven't played DDLC, but I've I've watched other people play it about 6 times. So, like, at that point, I might as well say I've played it. Sort of, maybe. I know, there's like a whole argument online about like what counts as having played a game, you know? There's that whole Resident Evil discourse, where it's like, if you've only watched a thing, you can't say you're a fan. And it got really heated as well. I'll just say this is the end of the arm, because whatever. There we go. I am the Red Judas, Blue Judas guy. I wonder if Lady Gaga has seen Gojo versus Sukuna, or even just JJK. Because that song is so heavily associated with that fight. You've got to imagine at least someone showed it to her. It's actually purely because my PC can't handle it. So for those who don't know, I don't animate on this PC. We actually, I think on my either first or second stream ever on YouTube, I tried opening After Effects while streaming and my PC almost bricked. Like, I ran out of memory and I had to close it before it like fully grinded to a halt. So yeah, I do all of my animating stuff on my laptop, which is to my left on my bed right now. But I don't want to do OBS on that because that's one screen. Like, streaming with 2 screens is already like difficult for me. So the thought of trying to cram it all onto one small laptop screen, and not to mention how hot my laptop would get, I'd just be like sentencing it to death. So yeah, so I'd love to show the process, you know. Like, it's not a thing of me trying to be all sneaky and secretive. I just can't do it, unfortunately. That's why I do the Photoshop, because, you know, Photoshop is not remotely demanding. Hello, Ahmed. Does it ever bother you when people call you the most robbed animator ever? It doesn't bother me, no. I think it's funny. If I had a penny for every time someone called me the most robbed editor, I'd have enough pennies to not be considered robbed, by any metric. Did I not already do that, or did I do it on the wrong layer? I think I did a bunch of things on the wrong layer, you know. Like, I did this, right? You know what? It's fine. It's fine. It doesn't matter. I don't care. Just quickly, just do that. And then we'll just quickly, bing. Boop. Bah. Whatever. Good enough. It's being blocked, so it doesn't matter. When's the ReZero animation? When I've been asked quite a few times this year, in particular, about doing ReZero animations, but like, what would that look like? Oh wow, I read a lot of stuff on the wrong layer. I'm an idiot. Because I know there's a ReZero manga that's like really far behind, and then there's the light novel with light novel illustrations. But there's only so much you can do with light novel illustrations, right? Like when I make MMVs, I save like 100+ pages as like temporary things to build a storyboard around. So the thought of like, alright, I need to make a, you know, like a 90-second MMV, and I've got 5 light novel illustration pages in total. What am I gonna do? I'm not against the idea of doing a ReZero related thing, it's just, you know, what would that look like? Someone in Monday's stream thought I was Japanese. How much does a work usually take? A couple of months or so? Yeah, it varies. 2 to 12 weeks is the general time frame. Alright, what am I doing? Bow. I've already done the bow. Yes. Oh! That's where those stupid lines were. I did it on the wrong layer. That's fine. I just love... Oh, wow, look at that. I'm so good, guys. Look, I'm in the zone. Freaking idiot. That's fine. Live and learn. Now they're like overlapping with it. Yeah, fuck off. There we go. We're fine. Hey, I was wondering if you had a My Enemy list or something similar. I have My Enemy list, yes. And I accept basically any friend request. As long as, you know, you're not racist or something. But I do have a My Enemy list. If you just search my name, my profile is my name. It's just a Ninjaistic Ninja. So, you know, feel free to friend me. Thank you, little scallywagons. Their love is mutual, in like a non-parasocial way. You know, in like a vague content creator, I love my fans kind of way. Like a non-problematic, doesn't have any skeletons in his closet kind of way. I reciprocate. What is it with content creators and just being like terrible people? Like, even some of the top creators, you know? They have it all, and they're like, alright, let me do something career-ruining behind everyone's back. It's like, why? And why is it always on Discord? What is it about Discord that gives people this weird sense of security? Like, I can say anything here. I can do anything. My Discord won't get leaked like the 700 other people before me. Manga name? This is Love Bullet. I like your work so much, I have like the entire Tokyo Ghoul saved up. Definitely want to make an MMV in the future. I highly recommend it. I've seen a lot of Tokyo Ghoul MMVs and they are great. I think there's a lot to work with. I haven't read it myself, but some good stuff there for sure. Dude, this music is like, just my brain is just turned off. There's no thoughts in my head right now. Just like static noise. Do I want to cut out all the hair? I kind of feel like I should, but I don't want to. I kind of should though. But if I do it for one, I have to do it for the rest. I can't just have like... I'll think about it. I don't need to do that now. Thanks for the inspiration. Thank you for being inspired and watching. I appreciate it. Do Pokemon lesson. Frickin' bangers. I was gonna swear, but I'm gonna keep my stream PG, you know. It's a family-friendly stream. I've decided all of a sudden. You think you can judge and critique my MV? Link it in the chat right now and I'll come back to it. Oh, wait. Link it in the comments after the stream's done. Because the VOD will remain on YouTube. So the reason I went, oh, is because my voice cracked. As another thought came into my brain. So yeah, just, you can drop it in the chat now or you can drop it in the YouTube comments if you're already able to. I'm not sure if you can until the stream's done. But yeah, I'll reply to you. Or at me on Twitter, I don't mind. Are you watching Marriage Toxin? I am watching Marriage Toxin, yes. This season is stacked, by the way. Can we talk about how, like, disgustingly good this season is? Like, I'm watching, like, 7 things. Oh, whoops. I'm watching, like, 7 things. Like, it is ridiculous. Like, normally I go into anime seasons like, alright, I'm gonna watch, like, 5 or 6 things, and then I end up watching, like, 2 to the end. But this season, I'm watching, like, God knows how many things. Let me find my list. And ignore the background. This from a different time in my life. Look, look how many there are. All of these. All of the. I need to catch up on Akane Banashi. This is great. Underrated. It's got a low score on my anime list for some reason. I'm not sure why. I need to continue watching this. Rampart Device. Top tier. Highly recommend it. Marriage Toxin. Great so far. Studio Bones, they're cooking. Nippon Sangoku is like wasn't on my radar, but it's one of the best things this season so far. It's incredible. ReZero Season 4 speaks for itself. It's great. This one I need to catch up on, but it's great so far. Witch Hat Atelier is probably my favorite thing this season. Highly recommend it. And Yobi no Sugai, which is another Studio Bones one, and it's great. There's a lot of stuff. Yeah, I've had to pause watching a bunch of older stuff because of how much there is this season. I don't have the time. It's like every time I'm like, okay, today maybe I'll try continuing watching this other thing, and it's like, oh, never mind, a new episode of this 10th show released. I should watch that. I might end up like dropping Akane Banashi just so I can read the manga instead, because I low-key have too many things I'm watching. It's like. It's kind of crippling. Chat, in your opinion, what is the best, most promising thing this season so far in terms of anime? Like, if you had to pick a favorite right now. Yeah, I think last season was great, but it was like largely on the back of sequels. Whereas this season is like a freaky bumper crop. Where it's like 90% original stuff that are not sequels. Because I felt like whenever I think back to like, oh, this season was giga stacked, it's like 6 sequels and 1 or 2, you know, good, like new things that are decent. But this season's just like 8 amazing new things and a couple of cool sequels. Okay. I'll do this. My drawing skills are slightly questionable, but it's fine. There we go. Nice. What's your top 3 anime? Probably Mob Psycho Season 2, Frieren Season 1, and Attack on Titan Season 3 Part 2, I think. Kaguya Lovers War Season 3 is up there as well. Did I do it on the one layer again? No, okay. It's so fucking many layers. Ugh. Did I do a bow? I did do the bow, right? Wait, did I? Oh, I didn't color it. Wabam! There we go. I actually haven't started anything this season. You've got so much good stuff to watch. There's so much choice, but I do recommend Witch Hat at the very least. Episode 5 in particular, spectacular. Is there any music anime you've watched? I've watched a few music anime. Your Lie in April is probably my favourite one. Your Lie in April. I've watched Bocce the Rock. I loved it. I've watched a bunch. I just can't think off the top of my head. I watched Beck. Is it called Beck? I think it's called Beck, right? A couple of months ago. Or 3 months ago. Maybe 4. I lose track. And that was... I enjoyed that a lot. I saw a tweet saying, like, Beck is the kind of anime you can only like as a teenager. But you can't enjoy as an adult. But I don't know, man. I kind of liked it anyway. So the kind of music I was listening to as a kid, so... Good enough. What do you think of Gurren Lagann? I haven't actually watched Gurren Lagann in its entirety. I remember like years and years and years ago, I watched the first like 2 episodes and I was like, this is boring. Obviously, me from years ago is stupid and I need to rewatch it soon. Yeah, but because of that, I haven't actually watched it. Which is crazy because I've watched so much of Trigger's stuff, but for some reason, that specific thing, I just haven't watched. Also, did I not cut her mouth out? Oh, I named it wrong. Wait, no, I named this wrong. I'm stupid. My brain is frazzled. Is this... Wait, who is this? Is this... Okay, no, this is... No, that... There's steam coming out of my ears. You just can't see it because my headphones... Eyes. Yep. Hair. Yep. And yep. Okay, yep. Yep. Okay, cool. We're fine. Do you have any favorite YouTubers? Chris and Jack, I think, are my current favorites. Chris and Jack. I don't know. Like, top of my head, I genuinely like my... Can't think of anything. Smosh, I guess Smosh is fun. I used to watch... I didn't used to watch Smosh. I used to watch Smosh when I was a kid. And then I kind of stopped for a while after the whole Defy thing, like the Defy Media thing. And then I got back into watching them kind of within the last, like, 2 to 3 years. And there's some great shit on there, man. Am I missing something here? No, I'm not. Okay, I'll leave her alone for a bit. She's really just melting my brain cells. The few I had left. I'm clutching onto what I have left this time in terms of brain cells. My speech is like collapsing, minute by minute. How long have you been working on this Love Bullet MMV? For about 2 months, I think. Month and a half, maybe. Yeah, Chris and Jack, I highly recommend it. I think they're the best sketch comedy channel on YouTube. Hello, Sockly Jockly. Welcome back, and happy birthday once again. It's a birthday miracle. Your phone came back to life. Yeah, no, Chris and Jack, shout out. Insanely good content. I started watching this stuff because of their YouTube shorts, or the Genie one that went like giga viral, got like millions and millions of views, I think. And yeah, I just watched all of their stuff after that. It is quality. Insane quality. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut her hair out because she's going to be talking really, you know, animated. In a really animated way. So, I'm going to cut her hair into a bajillion layers, I think. Because I love doing that so much. Random question, chat. Is anyone going to Anime NYC this year? Because I am. I went a couple of years ago and it was great. And I was supposed to go last year, but I got an ear infection, and it stopped me from flying, and it ruined my entire month. But we run it back. 100% worth reading Bashi. I vouch for that. Yeah, I realized after like 2 or 3, oh no, maybe it was like 4 or 5 Chris and Jack videos that it's Soccer's VA. They're both so good at acting, it's crazy. Like, they both play like the... Like, it's not like they each have their own type of character they have to play. They can, like, flip back and forth between the serious and goofy characters. And the writing and the twists and everything, it's just so... It's less of, like, a top secret thing and more of just a pain in the ass to do. I am a real person, Goose Hero. Goose Hero is a fun name. Why are you called Goose Hero? I can empathize with you on the first chapters being too many pages thing. Because, like, sometimes I'll be like, oh boy, this new, you know, shonen, like, weekly Shonen Jump manga starts today. I'll give it a read. And then it's like 50 chapters. I'm like, dude, I ain't got time for this. 50 chapters? You kidding me? I need everything within the first 10 pages. But sometimes you do find bangers, so it's worth it. Because I got 10 gooses and I got a goose cape. Hell yeah, man. I have swans outside. Not like my swans, but I live next to a river and there are swans. And whilst I've never gone up to them, I feel a kind of parental protective desire towards them. And I just kind of like stare out my window angrily when people go near them to bother them and take photos. What am I doing with this hair? I need to look in the context of the character, because this is making my head spin. Okay. I mean, that's fine, I think. I can just... Okay, I'll do this first. Wham, bam, bam. And then wham, bam, bam, ba-dam, bam, bam. 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 And then there'll be another hair in front of that anyway, so it's fine. Guys, what shows are you doing right now? I am doing Love Bullet, MMV, currently. I'm cutting out panels. I say panels, this one panel. I've been on this one panel for about... How long's the stream been going? Too long? I can't see anywhere. Sometime. Most serious injury. I've never really had a serious injury in my life. I've never broken a bone, chat. And not through lack of trying. Because I ran around a lot as a child. But I'm just indestructible, apparently, because I've never broken anything. Only hearts. That's a bar, no? That's like a crazy bar. Like, not to toot my own horn, but like, holy shit, I'm cooking. If this MMV thing doesn't work out, I can be like a poet. I love life. Same, buddy. It's good to hear. What am I doing? I don't know. I hate hair. I went to the... Speaking of Love Live, I went to Japan a couple of months ago, and I went to the place where they basically worship Love Live. Not because I care about Love Live, but because it just happened to be nearby where I was staying. It's a place called Numazu. And there's just like random like just Love Live shit everywhere. On buses, there's Love Live. In stores, they have like little Love Live shrines. It's kind of crazy. You're not Greninja? I'm a human, like, empty husk flesh thing puppeted by Greninja. Trust me. He's above me right now. I don't know why that's the first thing that came to mind, but just go with it. I broke my wrist while sparring. I've hurt my wrist a few times while trying to punch a punching bag because I was too lazy to wrap my hands. Yeah, I don't know what my most serious injury would be. Yeah, like I've had some conditions that have needed some medical attention, but it's not like an injury. Like, I had a tooth once. I had to get surgery to take a tooth out of, like, the back of my nose. Like, you couldn't see it, but it was, like, a rogue tooth that was doing its own thing, so I had to remove it. It wasn't causing me any issues, but he was like, we should probably deal with that before it becomes an issue. And I was like, okay. But that's not an injury, you know? That's just a medical deformity. How long did you spend making the 2 JJK MMVs, and did you enjoy it? You've got to be more specific. When you say 2 JJK MMVs, I've made about 4. Or 5. I lose track. So I don't know specifically which one. I assume you're talking about the Culling game and the Gojo versus Sukuna one, in which case the Culling game video took 5 months. Never again. And the Gojo one, I don't know how long that took. 3 months, maybe? Something like that. What am I doing? I'm giving a really bad haircut, but other than that, what am I doing? Well, I'll go on top, right? Yes, okay. And now I give her a haircut. There we go. Swans are awesome. Swans are awesome. Like, the swans, like, no matter how cloudy it is on the day, if the swans are outside, they're so easy to spot, because they're, like, shining bright, you know? Like, pearly white birds. So easy to see them. What's your personal favourite MMV, and would you recommend the manga it's for? Yeah, I mean, I think my personal favourite is kind of a toss-up between the Culling game one, which, you know, JJK kind of speaks for itself. But then also my other favourite one is the Festival of Champions MMV, where the Pokemon one, which is a fan comic, which I do highly recommend. Pokemon Festival of Champions. Banger. It is so good. It's like the shonen Pokemon manga that you never knew you needed. Or you knew you needed, but Pokemon was never going to give you, because they'll never do that. Have I already done this hair? I don't think I have. No, I have not. I need to reorganize my layers, because that is a mess over there. Like, I don't think anything is in the right order. I think I need to rename all the hair layers, because they're not named correctly. Like, if I put this into After Effects, I'm just going to be lost. And confused and scared and a bunch of things. Yeah, I highly recommend Festival of Champions. It is insanely good. The only downside is it gets updates, like, rarely. Because, again, it's a fan comic, so you've got to stick with it for quite a while. But I don't care. I'm there day one anyway. And plus, I think if you follow Pokemon, you're kind of used to stuff just taking ages. Especially if you grew up with the anime. Alright, what am I doing? Which one's which? Okay. You're fine. You are fine. Bam. Nice. Okay. And then this can go there. Okay. It's coming together. Layer by layer. It almost looks right. Are you planning to make an AMV for Boruto? I don't know if I say Baruto. What's Baruto? Boruto. I don't currently have any plans. I haven't even read Naruto. Naruto? Baruto and Naruto. Dude, I'm so special. I think I got kicked in the head by a horse when I was a kid, honestly. I gotta confess. Because I speak like I did. Let me try again. I do not currently have any plans to make a Boruto MMV because I have not yet read Naruto. So I, of course, have not read Boruto either. There we go. Thank you. I get quite a few people in chat saying, dude, face reveal? I revealed my face like a year and a half ago, I think. I just don't stream often, so I think people forget. You should make a Q&A live stream. I mean, isn't this basically a Q&A live stream? I know I call it doing MMV stuff, but I think I'm doing more talking than MMVing. I mean, I try to treat it as a Q&A thing, but like, would you guys tune in for a stream where I'm just yapping and answering questions in chat? Like, be honest. Genuine, and don't just, like, flatter me. To be like, oh, yeah, oh, yeah, I would. Of course I would. Like, genuinely, would you? Because the reason I do the Photoshop stuff in these streams is so that I'm, like, doing something as well, so I'm not just, you know. Like, does the Photoshop stuff, does that detract from the streams, or does it make you want to stay more? I'm seeing a lot of yeses, so I appreciate that. Completely fumbling the words is so relatable. Yeah, I do it a lot. Going into these streams, I'm like, I'm going to speak so eloquently, and I'm going to enunciate all of my words. And I go, oh, I can't help it. I'm just, speaking is so difficult. And I know people in chat wish I'd stop, but alas. Oh yeah, I watched the anime film yesterday, by the way. I watched, what's it called? Tokyo Godfathers. Really great film. I think it's a Christmas film, but I'll watch whenever. And next I need to watch Blue something. Something Blue. It's by the same director, I'm not sure what it's called. And something else by the same director that starts with a P. So let me read chat. Yap sessions? Hell yeah. I mean, it is just visual flair. That's pretty much it. It's visual flair, and I'm also trying to get stuff done. But it is kind of hard to find a balance, so I do worry that the streams are just kind of painful to watch because of that. Also, how much? Okay, this can just be her own layer now, actually. Again, I'm quite novice to this whole streaming thing, but I would like to do it more, because I do enjoy it, and I enjoy... This is my, like, chance to interact with all of you in this stream right now. I value this time greatly. So I'd like to stream more. It's just sometimes it's not convenient, and other times it's like... I struggle to justify it. Like, I feel like I need to stream with a purpose, you know? Which maybe is why I'm struggling to do it. I'm like, dude, if I don't have something to crop out, what am I going to do? Just talk to my chat? Ugh, I can't do that. I also feel like suggestions on Twitter, and they said, like, oh, reactions and stuff. Like, what do I react to? Like, I don't think I'm, like, the most emotive person, you know? So I think if I reacted to something, you'd be like, that's it? You just made a couple of weird grunting noises and ended the stream. She's fucking bald! Sorry. Let me go back to video chat. Prison School? I have watched a few clips, but I haven't actually watched the anime itself. Blue Lock? I have not watched it, no. I've just seen the out-of-context panels of, like, the guy shooting the ball into the net and... You know, the egg thing. Or something, right? Because I think ball into net is just football in general, isn't it? The background editing is the best of both worlds. Something to look at while you're being productive. I also think the balance you keep is perfect. Well, I'm happy to hear you say that, because I do worry if I don't manage to do that very well. I do try my best to, like, glance at chat, so you're not just being ignored. But I do apologize if I miss questions. Feel free to ask every, like, 5 minutes, because there's a good chance I'm probably not ignoring you, I just missed it. And it does take me, like, 5 working days sometimes to read a message properly. That's why I'm like, ugh. What is this MMV even about? Because it looks like an animation, and if an AMV stream, it's about a manga called Love Bullet, and the thumbnail is purely because the MHA episode dropped, and I thought it was a funny idea to suggest that me and Photoshop have a sensual relationship. What do we think of the thumbnail, by the way, chat? There's got to be some new people in here. I have yet to hear your opinion. And you should make more shorts. I should make some shorts. Super dumb question, but have you seen the new Invincible edit / MMV that's been going around? Some of my friends thought you made it. Well, I can confirm that I have not made any Invincible stuff. So we can put that rumor to bed. I've not seen it, no. The thing is, it's hard to know sometimes, especially on TikTok, if you're watching the original edit, right? Because so many people repost stuff, it's like... I'm scared to like anything, because I'm like, did you make this? Or did you take this from someone else? The same on Twitter as well. Like, the amount of art that just gets reposted without permission. I'm like, can I like and retweet this? It's exhausting, dude, especially with like all the generative AI stuff. I used to just be able to see a cool piece of art and go, I like that, like, retweet. Now I'm doing like background checks. Like, what's your opinion on technology? What's their sentiment towards generative AI? Then I'll check if anyone I follow follows them. Can I trust them? Let me do another background check for another couple of days in my bookmarks. It's exhausting. So annoying. How do you choose which show to animate? Sometimes it's fan demand, sometimes I just pick whatever I want to animate. You know, like this one, no one asked for this. No one has ever asked for this, but I just had a personal interest in this manga. I read the first volume, I loved it. And sometimes it's just more rewarding to work on a smaller manga. Because even if you get less views in total, 1, it can make more people read the series, which is always a bonus. And 2, the smaller community really appreciates it. So... that's what I recommend. So anyone making manga edits, especially in this day and age, I'm going to be honest with you, buddy, your JJK edit, given the bar for JJK edits, is probably going to get drowned out. And you're going to get demotivated because it's like, why is my shit not getting millions of views? I would instead focus on niche manga with popular, passionate fan bases. They'll appreciate it. There's plenty of manga out there that are not getting any love in manga edits. So, go for those. Is this a Pokemon soundtrack? Is this still the Pokemon video? I don't recognize this soundtrack at all. What am I listening to? It is Pokemon. Oh, this is Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, apparently. I don't recognize this. I thought I knew my Pokemon music. Will you ever use AI tools? Not as long as I don't have to. Which I hope I never have to. I like to avoid doing it at all costs. It's just, I'm not interested, generally speaking. The blood, sweat, and tears that you see here in this stream, the eventual loss of sanity that I go through, that's the joy, you know? Well, not for me, but it's what it's all about, you know? It's getting through those painful parts of the process and getting to look at the final piece and going, hell yeah, man. Oh, that's why I like the culling game video, because I hated working on it. I was so exhausted and burned out, like, halfway through. But I went through that process anyway. Dude, I sound so, like, sentimental with this, like, soundtrack. This is, like, really fitting. I just wish I was a more wise person, and I had something cooler to say. Bro, you cooking Love Bullet made me so fucking hype. I love your work, too. I'm happy to hear that. The reception to my Love Bullet stuff has been, like, incredibly, like, positive. Even the mangaka herself has liked some of the tweets of the snippets, which is like, holy shit. It makes me very happy. I mean, because that's another thing. Like, I'll post, you know, snippets of, like, really popular manga. and they'll get like a couple of thousand likes sometimes. But then like the Love Bullet ones are like, one of them's got 10k likes. Like, hello? Like, they might have less fans, but they're passionate, man. Which is great. I think it's, you know, a large part in why the manga's survived as long as it has. Whoops. What's your favorite game? You guys want to see my backlogged? I've got all my favorite games here. In a list. In a top 25 banger list. These are my top 25 games of all time. Top my, like, 25 favorite games. So if anyone ever asks about my favorite games, refer them to this list. There's just so many good memories in this, man. I will say the most recent addition to this is Resident Evil 4 Remake, which I played a few weeks ago, and it was incredibly good. Did you add all the effects on Culling Game MMV in After Effects or Photoshop? After Effects. The only stuff I did in Photoshop for the Culling Game MMV is just cut the characters out. Everything else, the color, the animation, any effect is in After Effects. Yeah, Hyperlight Drifter is my, like, underrated gem of a game. It is such an incredible game. And some people criticize Hyperlight Drifter because it doesn't have, whatchamacallit, like any dialogue, and like the story's hard to follow. But I think that's the appeal. I think like the lack of dialogue in the storytelling is what makes it so interesting. It's all about visual learning and like environmental storytelling. It is so incredible. And the soundtrack, man, Disaster Piece, it is... Hyperlight Drifter, please, just give it a look. It is such an incredible game. You know Xenoblade Chronicles... Yes, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is my favourite one. I think, the thing is, I think 1, 2, and 3 are all great games, but I think 3 in particular, for me, just came together the best. Because I think in the 1 and 2, the combat was kind of hit or miss, but I think for 3, I actually really meshed with the combat overall. But yeah, dude. Oh, I love these games. Did you guys see the Super Mario Galaxy movie as well? Well, I have plenty to say. It's just a question of whether anyone wants to watch me say it. That's the problem. Because the thing is, I've built an audience based around MMVs. So it's difficult to then say, hey guys, I'm streaming. Let me do something that's not MMVs. It's tricky. I'll say this, chat. My ideal world is streaming about anything not MMV and then doing MMVs on the side. Yeah, so I'll say about the Mario Galaxy movie, I think as a sequel to the first Mario movie, I think it's enjoyable enough. I think it's fine. I think as a Mario Galaxy movie, it kind of sucked. Like, I don't think it captured the magic of what Mario Galaxy is at all. I think it was just like a roller coaster that used Mario Galaxy as the backdrop. You know? I don't think it's just like, what the fuck is Star Fox there? Like, what are we doing? Yeah. I don't think it captured the tone. I don't even think it needed Yoshi. Like, Yoshi was just kind of there. Like, what did he do? Like, he just joined within the first 5 minutes. He was just part of the crew, and then he just kind of was there. He didn't even have, like, a character arc, really. So, yeah. That's my opinion. Bowser's Inside Story. Bowser's Inside Story is great. Yeah, 100%. You're an intriguing human. That's a wonderful compliment, honestly. You're an intriguing human. I like that. I feel like a lot of the compliments I get on these streams are like, you're a person that exists. Your brain is interesting to look at. It's never just, hey man, you're great. Well, it is, actually. You're very kind, everyone in chat. Where Persona 5 Royal is in the ranking. Boop. It's one of my favourite games of all time. Persona 5 Royal was the first Persona game I played. And it was the first game I played with a calendar system. And I was completely in love with that game from start to finish. I don't know if I said this last stream, that Persona 5 largely inspired the culling game, MMV, for those who don't know. Like, the color red is one obvious thing. It wasn't solely inspired by Persona 5 Royal, but a big part of that video was inspired because I was playing Persona 5 Royal while I was working on it. So obviously, stuff's going to leak in. There is a particular shot in the culling game MMV, which I'll show you now, which is so... Dude, I just saw my live stream thumbnail. That does look fucking stupid. Oh, it's iconic though, honestly. I might just keep that as my permanent live stream thumbnail. Sorry, what was I doing? Yes, culling game. There is one shot in particular that is so directly... Where is it? It's the Kogane one. Like, there's no amount of subtlety. This one. This shot in the culling game MMV is... I was like 20 hours into Persona 5 and I was like, yeah, dude, I'm doing a red and white thing. No subtlety whatsoever. Is Mario Galaxy worse than FNAF 2? I do not believe so, no. I think the FNAF 2 movie is on its own level of, like, god-awful. I think it is just the worst. I think the thing is, like, FNAF 2, I think as an adaptation is bad. I also think as a film in its own way is bad. Whereas I think the Mario Galaxy movie, as a Mario Galaxy movie adaptation, is bad. But I think as its own thing, it's fine. I think it's enjoyable. Visually, it's gorgeous. The characters are enjoyable enough. The soundtrack's good enough. You know, it's just, it doesn't leave you with much to chew on. It's just kind of like you're there in the moment, like, woo. And then, you know, again, it's like a roller coaster. You just, in that moment, you're like, wow, this is, whoa. And then it ends and you're like, okay, sure. There's a thing I did. Can I use one of your videos and give you credits on TikTok for an edit? Go ahead. Credit me in the caption or the pinned comment or somewhere. Go wild. Ironically, I preferred it to the first one because the first one was just shit and boring. Yeah, I get that. I think the first one... Yeah. I need to rewatch the movie. It's been a minute, but... Because I can't actually remember like all the differences between the 1 and 2. Fellow Breath of the Wild enthusiast, dude, I love Breath of the Wild. Obviously, it's number 1. I will say, nothing I've ever played has captured the same magic as playing Breath of the Wild for the first time on launch day. Launch day Breath of the Wild is... Nothing's replicating that for me. No internet, no guides. Just went into that world and wandered off and tried to make sense of it all. And it was incredible. And even on replay, it's still incredible, but that first playthrough in particular is special, man. Opinions on Ocarina of Time on the 3DS. That's a very specific version. I'll be honest, I have not played the original Ocarina of Time. I've played... whatchamacallit? I've only played the 3DS one. I don't actually know if I've beaten it, because I was a kid. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have an opinion. I enjoyed it, I think. But again, it's been so long, I can't really give you like a decent opinion. Apparently it's getting another remake, which is exciting, potentially. Okay, let me remind myself. What's what? Whose body's which? What? Why? Yes, okay, I see it. I know what I'm doing. Barely. Are you into video game soundtracks apart from Pokemon? What are some pieces that are ingrained into your brain? Dude, I am a massive sucker for video game soundtracks in general. Like, I could go on and on and on. I think my favorite video game soundtracks, off the top of my head, so I think my favorite of all time is... Okay, outside of Pokemon, because I think Pokemon Platinum is one of the best of all time. Outside of Pokemon, I think the Xenoblade soundtracks, 1, 2, and 3, you could pick it any of them, I think they're up there as some of the best ever. You Will Know Our Names is hands down one of the greatest of all time. I think Sonic Mania has an incredible soundtrack. I think Undertale has an incredible soundtrack. By extension, Deltarune has an incredible soundtrack. Expedition 33, despite all its kind of controversy and hibbity-hoobada, I don't care, it has an incredible soundtrack, phenomenal soundtrack. I think Hades 2 has a phenomenal soundtrack. I think Hyper Light Drifter, it's less flashy, but I think in its own way it has a pretty incredible soundtrack. What was my backlogged? Persona, obviously Persona 5, Persona 4, Persona 3, kind of to a lesser extent, but I think Persona 4 and 5 in particular have incredible soundtracks. Elden Ring, the Dark Souls games, amazing. Metaphors, actually no, Metaphor is a kind of weak soundtrack. It has like a couple of standouts, but honestly I was kind of disappointed with Metaphor's overall soundtrack. I think there's some great ones in there, but I think there's like a slight lack of variety, in my opinion. Yeah, there's so many, and Mario Galaxy, I guess. There's so many. Hello, Huey20. I do just want to say I love your MMVs. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Opinion on the Mario Kart World soundtrack. Dude, that's another one. Mario Kart World soundtrack. Okay, first of all, it got snubbed at the Game Awards because it wasn't on Spotify, I guess. They didn't want to include it. That's one of the greatest robberies I've ever seen in that category ever. I think the Mario Kart World soundtrack is one of the greatest of all time. Like, the sheer amount of tracks and genres and remixes is incredible. I think it and the Mario Kart 8 soundtrack are both incredible. So I need to use more words. Like, just, I'm saying everything's incredible, incredible, incredible. But they just are. But yeah, no, I love that soundtrack to death. And there's like so much of it, I don't think I've listened to all of it yet. Because I don't think Nintendo's even put it on their goofy music app. God forbid they just act like a normal company and just put their shit on Spotify. Like, Nintendo have put their Mario Galaxy soundtracks on Spotify temporarily. Like, what are we doing? They're so dumb. How tall are you? I'm like 5'10", I think. No, 5'11". Let's just say I'm 6 foot. Let's just pretend I'm 6 foot. I think I'm like 5'11", maybe, something like that. Dude, Mario Kart soundtracks are incredible. You gotta give it a listen. There's like some, like, jazz fusion is one of my favorite genres of all time. I love Cassiopeia. As a result of that, I love T-Square. Mario Kart World is full of that. They go crazy with the sax solos and the guitar solos. Like, they mix with the two. Oh wait, I'm supposed to cut this part out, I think. Wait, am I? Wait, am I? I need to check. I am! Whoops. See, it's why you've got to check these things, man. There we go. I know what I'm doing. The thing is, I think Nintendo... So I think Nintendo are generally incredible as game developers. But I don't even think they're necessarily bad decision makers either. Because at the end of the day, they've got a console that's selling like hotcakes. And like, generally speaking, they're doing pretty well. But I do think a lot of their decisions are anti-consumer and petty and annoying. I agree with you there. And I think their like approach to copyright is obnoxious. I think they're overly protective of their IPs. I understand it to an extent, but I do think they just they're doing too much. That looks so good, he says, lying through his teeth. It's probably going to be covered anyway, so it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. I'm forgetting where the body goes as well. She's got a wing behind her. Whoops. The way the sax comes in on the Wario Pin ball track is just mean. Exactly. I think the only track I don't like in Mario Kart World is like the weird Baby Park dubstep thing. Like, I appreciate the variety, but I'm gonna be honest, when it started playing, I just kind of plugged my ears. Like, I think of all the genres out there, I think dubstep is really a genre of its time. Like, some of the dubstep stuff I used to listen to as a teenager, I go back to, I'm like, how the fuck did I listen to this? But hey, look, if you still like dubstep, I'm not judging. It's just for me personally, that's kind of how I've reflected on it. I mean, there's still some good stuff out there, but it's just like the really hardcore, like, dubstep stuff is just like, I don't know, man. It doesn't do it for me anymore. Since you like Breath of the Wild a lot, what did you think of the Legends games? I think... So, okay, I haven't played Legends ZA yet. I've played Arceus, though. And I loved it. I enjoyed it a lot. I think my biggest criticism with Arceus is that it was very half-baked. Like, you could clearly tell that they were working on another game alongside it in Scarlet and Violet. And I think Scarlet and Violet also suffered from clearly being worked on at the same time of something else. Yeah, that's really my biggest criticism. It's just half-baked. Like, it doesn't run super well, and it's like graphically, even if it's got an art style, it still just looks bad in places. But like the gameplay loop was so fresh, I didn't care. Like the gameplay loop was great, the soundtrack was great. I actually really enjoyed the battles, like the small change they made with like the agile, strong style thing. I ate that shit up. It's also Legends Arceus is also the first Pokemon game where I lost a battle in like 10 years. Like official one. Fan-made ROM hack, that's a different thing. But as far as official Pokemon games go, that is the first one I've lost a non-Battle Tower battle in 10 years. I was not expecting the final guy to have essentially 7 Pokemon, but it was so good. Like that Giratina fake out is one of the best parts in the entire franchise. I love it so much. Yeah, Tekken's got some good soundtracks. I got Tekken 8. It's like the first Tekken game I played in a very, very long time. And this is going to sound like really stupid, but I got Tekken 8 for the story mode. Which I know is like the weirdest thing. I've like barely played any online at all. Because I don't actually like fighting games, generally speaking. But I don't know, something about the trailers, I guess, for Tekken 8. Because I used to play Tekken as a kid and I stopped. Oh, I think my parents stopped buying Tekken because I started trying to practice moves on my brother. So, yeah. You know, like any kid. Like, I just go up to my brother and try to axe kick him. MMV idea, JJK Modulo, or Kagurabachi? I mean, both of the ideas you've mentioned, I have plans for. So, both of those. Yeah, I'd love a Gen 4 remake as well. And I say that because we only have Legends Arceus. There was no other game they released that's a Gen 4 remake, right? Doesn't exist. Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl is just the worst thing of all time. I genuinely despise those games. I just... Oh. As a kid whose first Pokemon game, first proper Pokemon game on a handheld console was Gen 4, right? Pokemon Pearl. I technically played Gold first on like an aeroplane or something, somehow. But Pokemon Pearl was my first ever Pokemon game that I owned. I played on my DS. It was a magical experience. And so, of course, you know, for years I was anticipating that remake. I saw what Gen 2 got. You know, I saw Heart Gold Soul Silver. I saw Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. It's like, holy shit. If that's what they're getting, what's Gen 4 going to be? And it was that fucking awful game, man. It was just the most, like, fucking fine, jeez, take it, remake I've ever seen in my entire life. And if you like those games, I'm happy for you. I'm glad you got enjoyment out of it. But for me, personally, I cannot look at those games and pretend I respect them on any level. I think Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl were like a psyop to make Gen 4 look bad. Especially when you look at the concept art. When you look at some of the concept art for Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. Like, you can clearly tell at some point they were like, let's try, right? Let's actually try to make a game that people will like. Look at this shit. I'm gonna cry. Look at this, man! Look what we could have had! Look what we could have had. I mean, obviously it wouldn't look, even in 3D, it wouldn't look exactly like this, right, to this scale. But like, dude, we could have had it so sweet! And then they just said, nah, let's just not do that. Let's just quickly, like, throw it off to a, you know, outsource it to a different studio. You know, the guys who made Pokemon Home, yeah, they'll do. Ugh. I cannot tell you that, like, the life in my eyes dissipated when I saw that trailer reveal. The only thing that saved that particular live stream is the fact that we had Legends Arceus as well. But that particular part of the video really just strangled any hope I had in my life in that week. The audacity. I think the most demanded remakes were Diamond and Pearl as well. So it's like, dude, that's crazy. What am I doing, by the way? Did I? Oh wait. Oh, I'm stupid. So I'm ranting about Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. I'm forgetting what I'm doing. I'm on autopilot. Big fan of your work. Thanks so much. My favorite is the free one. Free one. Just one question. How do you feel about basically the entire internet stealing your work? I'm glad that you watermark your stuff. Yeah, I mean, I get asked that quite a lot. It's really just a case of I'm too jaded to care at this point. I just, you know, always hope that people credit me properly, because I still put a lot of work into the videos. And like you say, I'm glad I watermarked it, because what I see often is that people say, oh, well, if, you know, I didn't credit because there's a watermark there, I don't need to credit. Which, first of all, that's not for you to decide, right? I'm the one who made the video. I think I get to decide what my watermark counts for. And second of all, that's a load of shit. People don't not credit because there's a watermark there. They don't credit because they don't want to credit, and they use the watermark as an excuse. I think I don't know. Please. I mean, some people genuinely probably do think that, but again, look, I've said multiple times in comments and stuff, especially on TikTok, that like, look, my watermark is not credit. Please credit me properly. You know, I spent 6 months on that video. If you could spend 6 seconds writing my name in a caption, I'd appreciate it. You know? I think that's like the sassiest answer I've given to that question. It's like the 6th time this stream, and I'm just getting sassier. But yeah, I apologize if I came off rude. I didn't mean to. But thank you for the support. And also, out of curiosity, Fraud, which free run MMV is your favorite one? Because I've made 2 now, so I'm curious. You should really watch Invincible. I've seen the animation, like the TV show, but I haven't watched, I haven't read the comic. I just see out of context edits of characters doing stuff as a meme. If you know, you know. Your work's amazing. Thank you. What's your favorite manga genre? Romance. I'm a sucker for romance. Even if I don't make tons of romance stuff, I'm the kind of person that reads a good romance manga and I kick my feet. Thank you, Lulan Plays 707. I would like to make a Berserk thing. I have the big Berserk volumes. I've been a fan of Berserk for a while. I've been meaning to make a Berserk thing for a while, but it's just one of those things where, like, the idea, I just kind of keep kicking it down the road and I never end up making something. But I would like to. Sooner rather than later, hopefully. Do you like my dress up, darling? It's okay. It's not my favorite one, to be honest. I think the romance kind of dragged on a bit, and it's one of those ones where, like, once we got it, it ended. Which is the most infuriating thing. Like, so much romance manga just do the will they, won't they, will they, won't they, and then it's like, they will! The end. It's like, give me a date or something, man. Give me something. And some of them don't even, like, kiss. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Why'd you pick up the pen if you're gonna do that? Yeah, so, yeah. So I was a bit too passionate. I need to calm down. I will say, if you're like me, and you get infuriated by that same thing, You and I Are Polar Opposites is a fantastic manga. The anime for it aired last season. It's incredible. I've loved the manga since chapter 1. Not enough people have read it. Do it. Don't apologize, please. I wasn't mad at you in the slightest. And it's an understandable question, because I do get asked. I get asked a lot because my stuff gets stolen a lot, so it's totally fine. Maybe it was the Vaundy one. Nice. Yeah, I liked that. That was a fun video to make. But I was also kind of trying to speedrun that one back when I made it, because Season 1 started airing, and I was like, I need to get in on this before it gets popular. What I didn't realize is how popular it was going to get. Like, holy shit. Like, Freewin's popularity after she told Aura to kill herself is kind of nuts. For better or worse, unfortunately. Have you read Someone Hurts? I've not. I'll keep that in mind though. Do you think Gojo would have defeated Sukuna if he didn't have Maharaga? I mean, probably, right? I think that's kind of the assumption. Because he needed Maharaga to adapt or whatever. I'm not going to pretend to know all the power scaling, like, you know, exact humbo jumbo. But I think, yeah, you should have won. Does liking Clannad and After Story count as enjoying romance? Or depression? Or also nowadays, I wouldn't recommend Clannad anymore because of the first season. But it's kind of... Honestly, I get where you're coming from. I think Clannad's first season hasn't aged super great. Like, I remember rewatching it like a decade later and thinking like, oh, okay, this isn't as good as I remember. But I will say there's still parts in Clannad, like his first season, that got to me, that made me feel things. So I do think it's ultimately worth it. And plus, again, After Story is like so emotional. Like to this day, chat, I am not like a super emotional person. I may get loud and wave my hands around like an idiot, but I'm not like, you know, when watching stuff. I don't tear up. The only time I've cried is out of sheer pain and at the dentist. That was bad memories. But I'm not the kind of person that like tears up easily. The only time, the closest I've ever gotten to tears streaming down my face is Clannad After Story. I think it was episode 18. It's the one where he hugs the kid. Holy shit. The chills, the music. My eyes were like practically clinging onto the water. It's... yeah, that is the closest I've ever gotten to crying. I basically went on like a streak of just watching stuff designed to make you cry. Because I was like, I need to feel something, man. Like, I'm such an emotionless robot. I need to feel something. So I just watch all the most like, you know, cry-inducing things. And I don't know. Clannad got close, but I never really ended up balling. I'm balling, but not balling, if you know what I mean. That doesn't make any sense. Don't worry about it. Getting a lot of comments. Sorry, give me a sec. Let me roll it back. Some people claim stuff is their own to feel better, and yeah. Yeah, well, the thing is, I think people enjoy the feeling of people commenting, saying like, wow, you're so incredible, wow, in some, you know. But I think it might give you like short-term happiness, but I think in the long term, you just won't feel anything, you know? But I think some people just like getting the notifications. That's why people repost other people's art sometimes. They just like seeing their notifications full of stuff. Like, I'll admit, as someone who gets a lot of notifications when posting stuff, it does something to like the chemicals in your brain. Like, you like seeing that number go higher. I understand. But you won't feel anything in the long term unless you've done it yourself. You know, because then you can't look back on those comments and be like, hey, nice. You just think, oh wow, that's the time I stole someone else's credit. I'm now starting to get into romance after Kaguya, but my problem with it is the dialogue feels so unnatural most of the time. Yeah, I think it's a bit of a tricky thing. I think especially, I will say, I find it easier with romance manga, more so than anime. I think romance anime is like... sometimes the dialogue just doesn't work, and like the voice acting is a bit too cheesy. Whereas I think manga's the way to go, because you don't have that issue as much. At least that's my experience. Like, I think my best experience with romance generally are in manga form, but I do think Lovers' War is an exception because of how good the adaptation is. And plus it's like half romance, half comedy, right? Tokyo Revengers animation. When? Probably never. I've never read it. I'm so sad. Windbreaker was axed. Oh, I remember that. Yeah. I almost read that by accident because I had like heard Windbreaker was good and I was like, oh boy, I thought the manga, but there's also a manhwa. And then like a week later I heard it got axed because yeah, of that. Shame. That's the thing. That's what I mean, man. It's not worth it. It's not worth the risk. And also just, you know, it's not fulfilling. But I guess, you know, sometimes people get desperate, even artists. Doesn't condone it, but... I'm not very emotional with media either, at least enough to make me cry. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. It was genuinely, like, I'm fine now with it, right? But it was genuinely like an insecurity I had for a while. I was like, dude, am I emotionless? Like, I was getting depressed at the fact I wasn't getting depressed while watching stuff. It was really bad. I will say, reading Pun almost made me cry towards the end. But not on the first read, because I was in shock. But on the reread of those final chapters, where it's like the one where just kind of Pun's talking and Aiko's in the panels, if you know, you know. That almost got me. Like, that hurt. I just, like, the more I thought about Aiko, I was like, dude, this shit is so sad. Half romance, half comedy, almost like a rom-com. Okay, chill. You're not wrong, but there's different types of rom-coms, right? There's rom-coms with more rom than com. Like, their only comedy is a character occasionally says something in a funny way, and it's like, that's not comedy. Like, please. You know? And then there's the ones that are, like, mostly comedy with a little bit of romance that isn't even good, right? Like, for example, one of my favorite anime of all time, it's kind of like a guilty pleasure, it hasn't aged well. Baka and Test, right? Baka 2 Test. That is a rom-com. The romance is not great, but the comedy's great. Like, it's 90% comedy and like 10% romance. Maybe if we're being generous, I'll give it 20% romance and 80% comedy. Whereas Clannad, like, After Story is technically a rom-com, right? Maybe? I don't actually know. But if it is, then, again, that's like mostly romance, kind of comedy. Whereas Kaguya Lovers War, I think, is like the absolute balance of comedy and romance. Like, the romance is always moving, and all of the punchlines have some romantic twist. So that's what I mean when I say 50-50, because not every rom-com is 50-50. What am I doing? She's bald still. I cut out a lot of these panels now. I feel like I've made decent progress, and all of my rambling, I've done kind of decent. Now I just need to organize these godforsaken layers. Okay. Okay. Well, that's hair 3, yes. Okay, that's fine, actually. I've numbered those correctly, I think. Did I redraw this? I did. Did I? Yes. No, I didn't. I'm stupid. Squeezing the answers and opinions out of this man. Yeah, I apologize. I've never really been good at answering the questions, so now I am, and I'm getting the questions. I'm making sure to answer them. As I said earlier in the stream, so many of the questions I get are like kind of the same 5 things, so whenever I do get like a slightly new variation of a question, I'm like jumping at the chance to answer it. Like, please, I have stuff to share. I'm realizing, like, as I'm thinking back in this stream, I've been answering some of these questions like someone's been strangling me. I don't know how else to speak. The problem is, I'm the kind of person that I don't have like a super active social life, right? So when I do speak, I end up just throwing up my opinions. And then I kind of reflect on it later, like, dude, why couldn't shut the fuck up? That person probably thinks I'm crazy. And it's kind of similar on this stream, you know? Hello, AFO Zone. Is that AFO all for one, or? JJK Modulo MMV coming? At some point, yes. But I'm not currently working on one, but I have a plan. I have a song and I have a plan. So stay tuned. It is kind of looking like your old chat history, yeah. Can you do MMV with only After Effects? You can, but like I don't recommend it. Because the thing is, right, so in After Effects you can mask stuff, right? You can kind of cut images out. But it's just so much worse than just doing it in Photoshop. Like the thing is, I do this in Photoshop, right? I do all of these stupid stinky panels and layers and stuff in Photoshop. But what I can do, because, and this still looks like snot, I should move this layer. Just this one, there we go. And what I can do is I can take this Photoshop file and import it directly into After Effects. And all the layers will be separated, all the redrawing will be clean, it'll be done. All I have to do is animate it. It just makes the process significantly easier. Because when I started making MMVs, I started with just cutting out the PNGs, all the way up to like the end of the culling game MMV. I cut out the panels as PNGs, and then I would put those into After Effects, and then I'd split into layers in After Effects, and I'd redraw stuff in After Effects. I do not recommend it. The paint tool, for example, in After Effects is an effect, and each stroke you make, like, adds so much like memory and space. It's awful. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. If you can use Photoshop, use Photoshop. Ninja, are you British? I'm afraid so, yes. What are your thoughts on the Arthur versus Dragon adaptation? I'm going to be totally honest with you. I have not watched it. I totally forgot to watch it. I need to watch it after this. Yeah, I haven't watched the anime yet. I heard it, obviously, right off the bat without watching it. I know it's not adapting everything, right? Because of the limit of episodes. I mean, I saw mixed opinions. I saw some people saying it was great. I saw some people saying it was mid. So I don't know. I'll go in with an open mind when I watch it. But yeah, what did you think of it? What county are you from in this god-awful place? Are you British as well? I can tell. The way you just typed that. You're absolutely British. Well, I was originally from Brighton, actually. Wherever that is. I can't remember the specific county, I'll be honest with you. Then I was in Essex for a while. Then I spent my education outside the country. That's why I can still smile. Because I grew up outside the country. Now I've come back to it. And my optimism is slowly getting sapped away. All the joy in my heart. There we go. I personally think it's great. I hope you enjoy it. Yeah, I'll go in with an open mind. What do you think about the other manga animators like AniRap or something like that? Well, AniRap's not a manga animator, are they? I think AniRap commission, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure AniRap commissions people to animate for them. Like, I think if you look in their videos descriptions, I might be confusing with a different channel, but I'm pretty sure they commission people to animate. And those animators are incredible. And if I'm wrong and I'm confusing it, then I apologize, and they're incredible too. But all of those kind of like geek rap, I'll be the first to admit that geek rap as a genre is not really my thing. But the manga animations, the quality of the work, the storyboards, I mean, you know, the effort that goes into the music is clear. It's incredible. It's incredible stuff. Seriously. I don't watch a ton, again, because it's just not directly my thing, personally. I mean, I'm listening to fucking Pokemon soundtracks on stream. Like, what do you think my music taste is like? But yeah, no, it's incredible stuff. Oh, it's Markham. Ah, okay. I know someone does, because there's quite a few of like the geek rap channels, right? I lose track. But again, I'm also not like super familiar with the scene. Like, I'm kind of just doing my own thing for the most part. How do you feel about people using your videos for edits on TikTok? I should do like a counter, you know. I should have like a counter like down there of like how many people asked how you feel about your stuff being stolen. I think like, dude, forget sub goals. We should do question goals. If this many people ask this question, I'll slam my head against my desk until I concuss. No, to answer your question, I'm indifferent about it. I think I've answered it kind of differently every time, but the me of right now says I'm indifferent about it. I wish people would credit me properly. I don't mind generally that people use my stuff, you know. I'm flattered that people like them enough too. But, yeah, I think there's just a lot of misinformation about how I feel about it, which is probably why so many people keep asking me. You know, I've seen some people on TikTok say that, like, I make MMVs specifically so people can can edit them on TikTok, which is kind of insulting, because, like, I put thought into the music choice. Like, the MMV, the thing you see, is the final product. It's not just I animated this and I chucked this stupid song with it. Please use it in your edits. Please fix my mistakes. I thought about it, man. I think you need an FAQ video. Honestly, yeah, you're probably not wrong. You should just write the answer across the screen. You're onto something, actually, unironically. If I can fit it, yeah. Instead of my webcam, forget my face, I'll just have, please don't ask about this. Before I discovered your channel, I passionately hated AMVs because most remind me of the cringy TikTok edits. Now I just say I enjoy your MMVs, but nothing more. I think there's still some great AMVs out there in general. I will say that some of them are definitely a product of their time. You know, like you look at, like, you know, the Evanescence Pokemon AMVs, right? And whilst they are of questionable quality sometimes, they have a special place in my heart, regardless. You know, because I watched up growing those, and those indirectly inspired Hikari Dance. So, can I just say, this has been a really great stream. Really appreciate if you're asking questions in chat and whatnot. I think we had a good vibe this stream. Like, I've done a handful of these YouTube streams, but this is for sure the best one. I don't know if streamers are supposed to say this. I don't watch enough streams to know for, like, reference, but man, it's been good. What was your opinion on JJK Season 3? I thought it was fantastic. I think, you know, some episodes were better than others. I think some animation cuts were better than others. I think some got a little lost in the sauce. But I think as a whole, I look at JJK as, like, I just think it's nice to have an anime that's clearly gets a lot of money and clearly has a lot of popularity, that's also trying to be ambitious, you know, like artistically. Because I think it's easy to have this, like, super popular thing and then kind of play it safe. But, like, they clearly have so much they want to try and experiment with, you know, and they take risks. And I appreciate that. And again, sometimes the risks, I think it gets a little lost in the sauce and it looks a little, you know. But I appreciate them for trying. And I think the result, regardless, looks incredible. I think Season 3 was chef's kiss. I'm not sure what my favorite episode was. It was either the last one with Yuta versus Ryu and Uro, or the Maki one. I love that episode. I thought it was incredible. Maybe a little fast-paced in places. Like, what it might have benefited from, like, a slightly longer runtime, but, like, as a whole, incredible. I keep doing this stream. I don't know why. So many chef kiss things. What am I doing? Have I cut this out yet? I have not. There we go. I need to name these hair layers too, because I'm going to get lost very quickly. What do you think is the best way to improve doing manga animation? Like, are there any tips to make the process clearer and faster? The best change you can make is if you animate in After Effects, use Photoshop. If you rewind like 5 minutes, I talked about the exact reason. But I think that's like the biggest, clearest, most obvious change to make. And beyond that, I just think, don't do what I do. Don't spend like 2 months making a long MMV. I think you should just pump out shorter edits and just experiment with each one, try different things with each one, try different effects, try different looks, different styles. Try to emulate the stuff you'd like, you know? I think that's the best way to do it. Or that's what I would do if I started today. But what do you think about just try harder? I mean, I really want to learn manga animation, but I spend months and I still don't think I become like focused on you. I don't think it's a case of trying harder. I think you just need to be patient, but also work smarter, I think. It tends to be the solution. Because I think if you get into this like toxic idea, if you're not trying hard enough, then you're just going to beat yourself up for nothing. I think it's better to just think, there's got to be a better way to do this. But I think most of all, you should focus kind of on yourself, focus on improving, and just doing better than you did last time. Like, when I was, like, my early MMVs, obviously I was aspiring to be like Nanatsuki and Alinko in terms of quality, but I was, you know, so far off of that. A more sustainable goal for me was to just improve compared to how I was in the previous video. You know, whether it was improving on, you know, character animation, or improving on, you know, lighting, or, you know, how the video synced up with the music, improving my ability with a specific effect, or trying out new effects. Just do it one step at a time, and then things will accumulate, and then things will just start clicking together more. That's my general advice. Hello, Alonzi, how you doing? Hope you're well. I recognize you from Twitter. I gotta say, I'm so much better at recognizing profile pictures than names. So that Doctor Who one it's a good one. I think, wait, is it actually Doctor Who? From afar, it looks like Doctor Who. It might not be. I apologize if it isn't. It just always looks like it from afar. Like, it looks like David Tennant. But I might be wrong. In which case, I apologize. That looks good. Another British man enters the stream. I think we should announce every time a British man enters. Sky Tower's goated. I can't remember Sky Tower, to be honest with you. See, it's because I'm a British man, I recognize it. I never really thought it was him, though. Like the Kusakabe. I don't want to say his name, but now I've said it and I've pronounced it poorly. Are you? I wasn't British colonizing the YouTube live chat. We've got to do it, fellas. We've got to rebuild. The British Empire starts with this stream, trust. I'm kidding, just so we're clear. Oh god, there's more of you than I thought. Let me just look at some of these comments. I have respect for every person who stays AMV simply because they're expressing themselves through art. Exactly. That's the thing. It's all about expression. You know? The thing is, here's the thing, right? A big reason I started making AMVs, or MMVs, is because I have so much love and so many thoughts on the series I love, but I can't tell if it's obvious. Even just from this sentence, I'm not good with words. I've never been good with words. I've never been good at analysis. I've never been good at voicing my thoughts, verbalizing my thoughts, you know, getting them on like the written page. I've never been good at that. So instead, for me, MMVs is my way of showing my appreciation and my understanding of the text, you know? That's the best way I can kind of get that across. Maybe the whole chat's been British? Maybe. I don't know what a good time to stream is. I've been like streaming at different times for the last week. Like I think I did like a random 4 PM stream on last Friday. I did a noon stream for the Kagurabachi thing on Monday, and today I've just been like, yep, I'll go live. It's 9 PM. Exactly, one MMV does say more than 1,000 words. Like, unironically. You know, it's like artists. Some artists probably can't, you know, vocalize their thoughts on a series for shit, but they can show it through their drawing. You know? All the little details. Dude, these headphones are starting to crush my ears. Oh. I'd love to just keep streaming for like another 2 hours, honestly, but unfortunately, it is nearing midnight. So, we'll probably stream for another 20 minutes, maybe. When's the next Bachi MMV? Later this year, hopefully. I can't say for sure. I think the plan is also to stream again tomorrow. I'd like to make weekends a streaming thing going forward. Like Friday, maybe. Saturday for sure. Sunday, maybe. We'll see how that goes. And then I'll figure out what content people actually enjoy along the way. But again, I think this stream's gone well. Even if I'm kind of making it up as I go along. But it's been very interactive. which is not always the case with streams. So I do appreciate everyone who's come out today as British in the chat. It's very brave of you. Good to know there's more than just me. But also just come to the chat in general. Another Choose Your Next MMV? Maybe? I don't know. To be honest, I'm not caught up on Choose Your Next at all. But maybe one day I will. But don't get your hopes up. The thing is, what I will say for MMVs, like, I could make anything. Like, no one was going to predict I was going to make a Love Bullets MMV, right? So I could do anything. But I can't do everything. So. Okay, so the red hair thing, this goes with hair too. So, okay, first let me redo the quick redraw. Because, let me do this. This is where I start grouping layers together. Like, let me do this. Oop, there we go. This, so I'll call this just co hair to red. Group co hair to. Boom. Nice. Cool. With this amount of people playing games with viewers, like Mario Kart might be an idea. I do have an Elgato thing, which I bought like almost a year ago, and I was gonna do Switch games, and then I got discouraged, and I put it away in a drawer. So maybe I'd love to do some gaming stuff. It's just, again, the gaming stuff is difficult to pick a game. Like, what do people want to watch? You know? Again, horror games come to mind because I know people like watching people get scared. But, like, what game? I mean, I'll get scared playing anything. I'm a fucking wuss. I'm a coward, man. I mean, I'll try the horror games, but fuck, I get scared at anything and everything. I'm currently trying to play through the first Resident Evil remake, like Resident Evil 1 remake. And I'm struggling. I'm really struggling, dude. That shit's terrifying. And it's not even like, you know, Resident Evil's not like the scariest kind of game out there. But just the atmosphere is so thick. It's suffocating. And I'm scared to do anything. But it's so good. But it's terrifying. Even, I was playing Resident Evil 4 OG and I was sweating during that. And that's not even like a scary game, right? Like overall. It's a horror game, but like it's not scary. Or at least I think most people wouldn't consider it to be particularly scary. Okay, I need to disable all of these hair layers because they're kind of in the way. There we go. Counter-Strike 2. I haven't played Counter-Strike in about 7 years. Have you seen the software Moho? Moho? I have not, no. Actually, wait, I think I recognize the name, but I don't know the specifics. How much progress you've made for this MMV so far? In terms of animation, I'm like halfway through. But in terms of panels cut, I'm like 2/3, maybe 3/4 through. So, because the animation stuff doesn't actually take that long. The most lengthy part of MMVing is cutting out the panels. As you can see. Like, I made some good progress on animating today. But that's only because I spent so much time and work in Photoshop. I mean, I've said before in a previous stream, the work in After Effects becomes a lot easier and you have so many more options the more effort you put into Photoshop. You know, so I do try my hardest not to cut corners, which is why I'm cutting out all this stupid hair. Because me on a different day would say, I don't need to do this. Like, who's going to care if the hair's moving, right? No one. And that still may be true, but I'm doing it anyway. Narcissist Ninja. Someone unironically, like, misspelled my name as Narcissistic Ninja, and they weren't even trying to insult me. Isn't that crazy? Narcissistic Ninja is wild. Which effect in After Effects you use to make the colored lighting? There's a plugin effect called optical flares. So I use that generally. Optical flares, and there's also YY ramp, which I use for like the gradients to kind of help accentuate the light. But yeah, I think optical flares is really the main one I use for most lighting. It's a video co-pilot effect. I remember I was on the last stream. What did I even do on the last stream? It's been a minute. Hello, Froggy. How you doing? The thing is, like, I have my Greninja onesie in a different room, but I'm sweating. In this stream, I don't look like I'm sweating. My heat is, like, my radiator is not on. It's not, the heating is not on. I'm sweating during the stream. If I put that onesie on, I'm genuinely passing out and dying. You will watch a death on your screen, and it will be me. Collapsing. Oh, I did! Of course I did! I remember now. So I'm not good with names. But I do remember. Ninja, will you save this stream? I mean, I'm not going to delete it. I used to remove the streams because I was scared of copyright stuff, but I don't care at this point. If you go to my live tab on my channel, you'll see 2 previous live streams. And then when this stream ends, this will also be there. So, archive it if you want. Because I don't know if it'll be up forever. I'm not sure how copyright will play with these streams. We'll see. But, yeah. I made some food. Show you chicken and rice? Hell yeah. My go-to meal has just been chicken, rice, and broccoli. And stir-fry. Like prawns. It's nice. And it's easy, which is the main reason I do it, because I suck at cooking. But even I can boil some broccoli. And microwave some rice. Okay. Do I do the ponytail? Could. Later. Are you the creator of Jujutsu Kaisen? Yes. That's me. I can't tell if I'm getting more exhausted or if the questions are getting weirder. Make more tutorials? I will try my best, but it is quite difficult. I will say that thinking about making tutorials is so great. I'm like, dude, I could do this, and I could do this, and I could be so helpful. But I promise you, man, sitting down to make the tutorials, I don't know if it's because I'm like a perfectionist or something, but I can't do it. I will stutter once during a recording of a tutorial, and I'll say, fuck! And I'll just stop the recording and just be like, I can't do this! I'm so bad. I'm genuinely so bad at recording tutorials. Like, I'll stutter once and I'll be like, it's fine, just try that line again. And then if I mess up a second time, I lose it. I'm so bad at recording tutorials. What are you running your VTuber on? I can't even make a witty joke on that. I don't know what the VTubing running software is. I'm so out of the loop on VTubing as a whole. Well, the thing is, I would make the tutorials live, but again, I can't open After Effects without my PC bricking up. Like, on this PC, while streaming, specifically, while OBS is open, After Effects takes up too much memory, and the PC dies. VTube Studio? That makes sense. He's the man who made it green, that's me! And the man who's gonna get cooked when Hikari doesn't dance enough. Can I just say, I have a genuine fear of JJK Season 4. Like, just think of the... So I got some heat because I made Hikari's energy green, right? Just think how much worse it's going to be if he doesn't shake his hips. I am praying that man gets fucking jiggy with it, or else I am cooked. And oh, dude, and the staff are gonna get heat as well, and then they're gonna be using my GIF while they insult them, and then it's gonna come back to me, and I'm just gonna be like, I'm sorry, I just thought green would be cool. Oh, dude, I'm so scared of that season. It's genuinely like a ticking clock. You know that one GIF of Danganronpa, where like the thing's like slamming behind her? That's me with JJK Season 4. I am so scared, but it's fine. Until that day comes, I will count my blessings. And look at how blue the sky is. Just please, just make him shake his hips. Just one panel, please. Just something. Yeah, people just, I don't know. How long have you been learning and making MMV? Did you learn it by yourself? Yeah. I learned mostly through trial and error, because back when I started, all the tutorials were like in a different language, and they didn't have like any easy way of translating. So I was just like, well, I guess I'll just throw shit at the wall until something sticks. And I did, and it worked. When I started in 2021. The first MMV currently on my channel is my first attempt. I didn't have like a secret first attempt that's hidden behind closed doors. That is my first proper attempt. And it was back when I had a different watermark as well. Because I used to watermark my stuff based on my Twitter handle. Because I thought, well, my shit's not going to do well on YouTube, but someone might repost it on Twitter, so I gotta protect this stuff. But then at some point I was like, you know, I'm gonna change it. He has to shake his hips, he's dancing. Hopefully. But you can interpret the panel as him not even dancing. And I will say this, he's not dancing in every panel I made him dance, that's a fact. Like the one where he's like doing this at the camera, he's not dancing, he's not shaking his hips. So that alone is going to get me some heat, but maybe, I don't know, maybe they'll make him dance anyway. I mean, even like Gege Akatami's said that the anime staff kind of take creative liberties and he learns what characters can do through the animation sometimes. Like, wow, they can do that with the curse technique. Shit, I didn't even know that, and I wrote the characters. So maybe they'll take some liberties there with the dancing and like dial it up to 100. Or maybe they're watching the stream and they're going to spite me specifically and give him no movement. We'll find out soon enough. What do you think is going to be JJK Season 4 without... Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious. I think... you know, there's plenty of talented staff, so it's going to look great regardless, right? But it is... You do have to wonder exactly how it's going to look, right? Because I think his style had a very particular look. So I'm curious what the new directors are going to kind of bring to the table. I'm excited. I mean, look, at the end of the day, regardless of who's directing it, I think it's safe to say that it's going to look fantastic. It's JJK, the standard's been set. They can't just suddenly put out a terrible adaptation, right? Like with Seven Deadly Sins, the reason that turned to absolute, you know, I think I had to word it. The reason it was so awful at the start of Season 3 in particular was because I think they did a movie and it sold poorly, so they kind of gave up on it. Whereas JJK, it's JJK. It is the most popular thing. So they're gonna, you know, the pressure's there. They know what they need to do. Did you see Yuta versus Ryu versus Uro fight? Yes, I think it was great. I think it was great. I love they used the opening. I love when anime use the opening. I think sometimes it's not done super well, but I think like when it's done well, it's done well. And I think Aizo was like such a perfect opening for that kind of thing. Sorry, got a little bit jiggy with it. What am I doing? Whoop. There we go. Yeah, red hair clip things. Code. There we go. Nice. What else do I need to cut out? Ponytail thing. No, I don't. Do I? No, I don't. It's fine. Please stream more often. It's way easier to edit while having your streams on. I'm curious what about my streaming makes it easier for you, but I'm glad. I will try to stream more often. What manga are you working on? This is Love Bullet. Love Bullet. Ta-da! I recommend it. If you like good manga, we'd love Bullet. One Punch Man is massive and that flopped. Okay, yeah, I think One Punch Man is a bit of an exception, and I also think the One Punch Man's weird. I mean, I don't think One Punch Man's massive in Japan, is it? Like, I think the problem with One Punch Man is I think they just took way too long to make season 2. Let me check the manga sales. Yeah, I mean, One Punch Man kind of just... If you look at the graph, it's really just a decline. I mean, it's not terrible, but... Compared to, like, the Season 1 anime, like, boost it had... It's definitely gone down quite a bit. But, yeah, I don't know. It is strange that Season 3 ended up the way it did. I think it was just a case of... I don't know. I don't know the exact reason. I'm not going to pretend to know. Because I think too many people in this space pretend to know what they're talking about when it comes to anime production, and then they end up pointing the fingers at the wrong people and end up sending like harassment campaigns to directors and stuff like that. I'll just say I don't know for sure. I feel bad for the staff. I think they were obviously given an awful schedule. But I will also say that it's still not as bad as 7 Deadly Sins Season 3. 7 Deadly Sins Season 3. Meliodas versus Escanor, like the best fight in the manga, or at least the most anticipated fight in the manga at the time. That episode dropped on Christmas Day. And it is, to this day, the single worst thing I've ever seen. Again, I don't hold that against the animators. Even back then, in my more ignorant state, my like gut reaction was like, holy shit, man. These poor animators. But yeah. I don't know what the exact situation with One Punch Man is. There's like a bajillion different bits of information. It's hard to weed out misinformation within that. So I don't know. But yeah. You got me to read Tower Dungeon and get the volume, so I might check out Lovebird as well. Hell yeah. Tower Dungeon's great. And I also, can I say, I adored making the MMV for Tower Dungeon. And Tower Dungeon, similar to Love Bullet, like, it was one I made on such a whim. Like, I read Tower Dungeon, and then within, like, 3 weeks of reading the first chapter, I had uploaded the MMV. Like, it was just such a impulsive reaction to make the MMV. And this is, like, a similar one. I read the first volume, and I was like, I see the vision. I have a song. I can make something. Whereas other MMVs are like, I've been cooking this for years, I need to finally make this thing. Like the most recent Freerun MMV, for example, has been on the back burner for about like a year and a half or something. I had that song locked in so long ago. Like during season 1, I'm pretty sure I locked that in. She looks like the fucking hunchback of Notre Dame. That's a very human design. Very human. Luckily, she will not be seen. So let me reach out. Too busy dancing. Can you do invincible animation? First of all, don't spam. In fact, let me just... second of all, I don't really have any interest in making an invincible thing at the moment. But please don't spam. Thank you. The Golden Land Freerun arc is so good. I love the Golden Land arc in Freerun. To me, it's the best arc in the manga by far so far. So I'm very excited to see Season 3. I thought Season 2 was kind of like a weird filler season relative to like the 2 seasons. But I think I understand why they did it if they want to set up Golden Land as its own season. So I don't hate the decision. But I think Season 2 is left as this kind of weird middle ground as a result. Okay, what do I actually have to do, by the way? Because I'm low-key kind of cooked everything. I just need to reorder some layers, and I think I'm kind of good. Look how many layers we have. Let's look at it come together. Bit from the bottom to the top. Okay, I need to do the ponytail, that's one. This is the process, people. We did all of this stream. Hell yeah. That's not bad, you know. Yeah, I think the only issue with the current arc in the manga is that it's not continuing. at a very fast pace. Like, the hiatus is starting to take effect on my interest in that particular arc, but I just need to reread it, I think. Lord of the Rings. I like Lord of the Rings. I was going to say I love Lord of the Rings, but I genuinely haven't watched it in such a long time. I can't say. I think Lord of the Rings... I have the Lord of the Rings books that I tried to read when I was like 13 because I wanted to seem smart, and I couldn't read them. I was confused. But, yeah, I like Lord of the Rings. Yeah, but I need to reread it. There's no need to add a watermark. One, on this MMV, but also, like, I'm in Photoshop. Like, look, if an editor wants to steal this right now, go ahead, buddy. Make an edit out of this. I dare you. Go crazy. Also, the arm's in the wrong spot. I need to read all these layers. Oh, no. Oh, there's so much. Okay, how do I... so much shit. Okay, it's fine. Let me just... Okay, it's fine. I know what I'm doing. This is why we group stuff. So, firstly... Also, that shouldn't be that shape anyway, should it? Oh, God. It's fine. I know what I'm doing. I'm really smart. Oh, shit. Okay, give me a sec. Yes. That's good. Nice. Flawless. That doesn't look good. Oh, well. Hey, Ninja, do you intend to make Sukuna versus Yorozu? I honestly don't have any current plans to, no. It wasn't my favourite fight, I'll be honest. I didn't hate it, but... It's just kind of wedged between more interesting stuff. So I kind of forget about it a bit. I could probably make a cool short edit out of it, though. Dude, you can tell this stream's getting towards its end. I'm struggling to structure sentences. Is what I would say if I haven't been doing that all stream anyway, so... What can you do? Alright. Table. Wham, done. Bing bang. But what is that? Oh, that's fine. Yes, sure. Aina. Oh, stupid red contact lenses. I need to do this as well, actually, before I forget. How do I... There we go. Is there any more niche manga you plan to do an MMV on? Good question. That is a good question. I have thought about it, but my brain is currently blank, which is not unusual for me. Let me just check something real quick. Wait, can I... Ah, there we go. Let me check my anime list thing and remind myself what I'm reading. Maybe some kind of romance manga, some kind of shoujo manga. I've been meaning to make something like that for a while. In terms of niche stuff, a Veil maybe. I considered that for a while. Now, honestly, at the moment, not really. When it comes to the niche stuff, I'm really like one at a time. And I think when I consider making something for a niche manga, I kind of jump on the idea pretty quickly. Like with Tower Dungeon, as I said, I read the first chapter and immediately... Or not first chapter, I read the first bunch of chapters and I immediately jumped on the idea. And with Love Bullet, it's the same thing. I read the first volume and I locked the idea in pretty quickly. And I think I go into these ideas thinking, oh, these won't take too long. And I don't need to, you know, be too precious about the details because it's a niche manga. They're not gonna care. And then I end up doing this with 50 bajillion layers. I'm a moron, but it's fine. Da 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 da. Boop. And then this. And then we'll put this down to, I think, 50% opacity. Hell yeah. Lens. Nice. And then we will... I should do a hair. I've done everyone else's hair. Wait, have I done everyone else? I haven't done Kana's hair though. I'll have to do their hair as well. Whatever, man. Hello, Parade YT. Why did someone just tell me to oil up? I'm sweating so much, I'm already kind of oily. Ninja, did you like the depressive manga Pun Pun? I did, yes. How is the process of choosing a song to an MMV? I have a list of songs that I consider. I have like a playlist where I'm like, of songs I've kind of considered in the past. I'm gonna put this hair over the glasses here, so it's easy to make it move. Artistic liberty, that's what that is. Yeah, I have a long playlist of songs that I think have potential to be good with MMVs. You know, they might just have like a catchy chorus, or like, you know, I might have like a certain sound where I'm like, this would work well if I had a manga with this specific genre. So I have a bunch of those, and then sometimes I'll find a manga and be like, this goes with that song I had in mind. Or in other cases, I'll have a manga in mind. You know, like for example, the Love is War video I made. I had a Love is War vague idea, and then I randomly came across the song on Spotify, and I was like, wait a minute, this totally could work with Love is War. And so I made it. So yeah, it depends on what I find first, the series or the song. But that's generally the process of just waiting for a match. Just for someone on fucking TikTok to change it anyway. Whatever. I don't care. Okay. Hello, the Wanderer. Yeah, I'm trying to increase the amount of streams, and this one has gone very well, I gotta say. A lot of talk. A lot of brainstorming. It's basically like a Q&A stream, which is, I think, kind of how I imagine the ideal stream. I mean, I don't know how else content would look for this channel, you know. It's basically just like a Q&A stream while I've been making progress cutting out this panel, slowly but surely. It's a difficult balance, but I think we've done quite well this stream. Do you think Pun Pun will ever get an adaptation, and if so, do you think it will be good? I don't know. I mean, we know the art style can work. I mean, his other manga, the Dead Destruction something, right? That got an anime adaptation. I don't know if it was good, because I haven't read the manga and I haven't watched the anime. I think I heard positive things about it, so I assume it was good. So I think it can maybe work, but at the same time, I don't know, they're very different stories. Like, I haven't read the other one, but even I know that, like, you know, it's not as graphic or as disturbing, I think, as Pun Pun gets. Yeah, I don't know. I think when it comes to adapting Pun Pun, it's like the difficulty is not just in the content, you know, like it needs like a content warning. It's also a case of the art style, because a lot of the art style is just kind of like realism, and I don't know how an anime adaptation would be able to capture that, to be honest with you. And I also don't know if there's demand as well, because Pun Pun's an old manga at this point. Fizzity up. Yeah, Pun Pun's a pretty old manga, so I don't think they really have any interest in doing it, to be honest. I think it's got more of like a cult following than like a, you know, massive fan base, if that makes sense. I don't want to be that guy, but around 20 minutes ago you said you'd stream for another 20 minutes, just so you're aware. Thank you, yes, that's a good reminder. I'll stream for another 10 minutes, and then we'll call it, for sure. I just want to cut these last few hairs. Thank you, Elias. Is it Elias or Elias? I assume it's Elias. Thank you. I appreciate that. You're going to make a modulo animation? I am planning to at some point, yes. What do you think of the JJK modulo manga PV that Mappa released? I think it's incredible, obviously. But I also think that it's hilarious how many people are going to watch that and be convinced there's an anime coming. Like, I can already see like the TikTok comment sections of people being like, it's confirmed that Modulo's getting an anime adaptation by Mappa. I'm like, no, it's not. It's a manga volume promotional video. And they'll be like, no, I saw the trailer. It's an anime. Yeah, it's funny. But I think it also goes to show how disgustingly popular JJK is. The fact that it's getting that kind of promo. Yeah, it's cool, but also like, holy shit, man. Did I already cut the hair out? I did. Dude, I'm getting like memory loss. There we go. First punch, cool, thank you. Yeah, I apologize if I pronounce anyone's names weirdly in chat. Speaking as it is, for me, is difficult, if that's not obvious from the last 2 hours of streaming, or however long I've been streaming. But yeah, with names especially, I try. And if I do mess it up the first time, I do apologize. But in this case, I succeeded, so. Hell yeah. I succeeded, and then I gave you a really bad pronunciation on top of that, just to make sure. Whoops. Hell yeah. I'm not going to move a stupid little ponytail thing. It's just going to remain as is. Dude, I've been streaming for so long. How long have we been streaming for? Dude, this video was 3 hours. This was a 3-hour compilation of Pokemon music. Have we been streaming for 3 hours? Oh my days. 3 hours. Holy shit. Okay, yeah, you know what? Maybe I think I'll end stream and let me. I need to have something playing. This is deafening. There we go. There we go. Sorry, I got in jiggy with it. Dude, I could stream for another 2 hours. Honestly, I could do this shit like crazy. But yeah, W stream. This is probably the best stream we've had, honestly. And like the current viewers hasn't dropped below like 30, which is honestly kind of huge. Ninja, will you make more manga animation for more niche, from more obscure series? Yes. I love making, like I like trying to have a balance of the popular stuff that people keep asking for, like JJK, Chainsaw Man, MHA. But I also do like trying to promote smaller manga as well. Not that I'm like, you know, single-handedly promoting them or anything like that. I just like the manga. You know, I'm not doing it out of like a service. I just like the manga and I want to share them with people. But there is a certain joy you get from making MMV specifically for niche manga. So I will definitely continue to do it. Okay, I've given you your stupid haircut now. What do I need to do? Stop clapping. There's like 2 demons in my head and one keeps clapping and one's trying to cut out something in Photoshop. And both of them struggle to string together a sentence, so it's really just a massive struggle. There we go. Hello, Suffy Brando. Or Sufi Brando. Thank you. Ninja, what do you think of my username? I have no tongue and must lick. That sounds... it's a username that exists for sure. It sounds like a creepypasta. I've got to be honest with you. Sounds like a weird creepypasta from 2014. How do you redraw the missing parts of a character or background, especially if you have hard style like One Punch Man, for example? Well, sometimes you just kind of rely on the healing spot brush to like fill in the details for you. And other times I just give up on the background and just replace it with my own. You know. I'll say this as a general bit of advice. Anything can be your background with enough blur. It's true. Is it hard to draw in Photoshop? It is because I'm stupid. If I had like a drawing pad, because I draw with just the mouse, right? I just use Polygon or Lasso tool like an idiot. But this process would probably be easier if I knew how to draw, but I don't, so. I mean, this works for me, so I do it. What am I doing? Shit, I did the lens like it without cutting the hair first. Okay, I'm gonna cut out this. Once I'm done with Aina, we're ending the stream. Because otherwise, I could keep going for way too long. So if you have any burning questions, chat, now is the time to get them in. Because this could be the last time I ever stream. It's not, but it could be. You never know. The whims of the universe are not kind. Goodbye, Elias. Okay, I gotta say, Arthur vs. Dragon video was like 3 times better than the actual fights in the anime. He should have been doing more. Yeah, as I said earlier in the stream, I need to still watch that, so. I'm not sure how it was. Ninja, have you watched or read any Undertale fan content? I mean, I've seen some fan comics, I guess, but I never got into Undertale when it was like, you know, blowing up for the first time. I was never like part of like the OG fan base, and even now I wouldn't say I'm part of the fan base per se. I do like the game, you know, and even if I don't want to see fan comics, I will see fan comics, just with how, you know, the nature of the internet works and algorithms and stuff. So I've seen some comics, and I've seen some cool fan art, you know. I've seen some questionable fan art too. The algorithm was not kind in those instances, I will be honest. Is this something you want to share? Dude, what is this, therapy? Don't even get me started. Forget about Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. I could rant about Rent a Girlfriend for hours. And I just go in circles until I, like, pass out. That's not how lenses look. Oh well. Who's gonna judge me? No one. Hopefully. Maybe. Where's the lens layer? We need to delete that. Right? Yeah. Goodbye. How's the music this stream, by the way? Like, in terms of volume. Not taste. I'm not looking for like your music taste, but volume-wise. Was it fine? Because I didn't change it once, and this seems to be pretty good. John Edit Maker. Hell yeah. Let me see. Let me actually read some of these comments. Same reason why I did cry. I can see like the replay that's also like a few minutes behind. I just see myself clapping like an idiot. That's how I look. God, man, I have no shame. Went to girlfriend, I think of that one panel. Dude, for those who don't know, in Kabeni and Derby Dance 2, I used that panel of the main character underwater. In his, you know. I used that exact panel. If you look at the top right of the screen, when they're in the aquarium bit, he's floating. It's like a little Easter egg. So I have actually, technically, I have edited a Rent-A-Girlfriend panel on this channel. That rhymes. Pfft. Poetry. Yeah, the more you know. Worst manga I've ever read in my entire life, and it's on my channel. Who's laughing now? Not me. I might have a screw loose. Okay, so that's done. That's not done. Okay. This is fine. It is an iconic panel. In like the worst way possible. But the manga has quite a few of those. It's such a... It's a manga that exists, and I just don't know how to feel about that. Where did I start cutting this out? There we go. Nice. Hell yeah. Was the Pun Pun AMV hard to do? Like, the art style is crazy? Yeah. Yeah, in some panels, it was pretty tricky. I mean, the first one was. The second one, I reused a lot of the panels I already used for the first one. So it was quite a lot shorter as the process goes. But, yeah, I mean, the first one for sure was difficult. Okay. Now, need to do this. Wait, do I need to do this? Not really. Need to do this, I guess. And then that's fine as is. Nice. Didn't cut that properly. There we go. Alright, I think she's done. And if she's not, then I am. Hell yeah, weird ass haircuts. Nice. Okay. That's where we'll end today's stream. Once I re-enable all of these layers that there are way too many of. Yeah, I'll clear this up in my free time so it'll become usable. Maybe we'll stream again tomorrow. Maybe, potentially. We'll see. I should move that arm quickly. It's bugging me. Where is it? Where's your arm, lady? Ugh. There we go. Perfect. Love that. There we go. Perfect. Alright, thank you so much, everyone, today. Yeah, this is a banger stream. I can't lie. I had a good time with this one. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I really appreciate it. It's been a fun stream. Yeah, take care of yourselves. Have a great rest of your Saturday. And yeah. Peace out. Take care. Much love. Mwah. Mwah. Where's my goodbye page? Mwah. Goodbye.